under control. Okay. Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to another episode of Probing the Many. Today we're going to be looking at Sweden versus Canada, not a series I've actually seen all of. I managed to watch a bit of it, like bits and pieces of it, because I was busy with BlizzCon, as you can imagine. I was busy doing stuff. I think, was I streaming at this time actually? I can't remember. When was this played? I think I was streaming earlier on in the day. Must have been. I think so. Yeah, it must have been. Right, anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, we're going to take a look at this match. Some of it's going to be new to me, some of it's going to be very different. And yeah, we're going to see how it goes. Right, I'm going to get rid of chat. We've been chatting about the one trick thing, but that's for another time. Leave it alone. Open up on Nepal. Gonna be interesting to see how this managed. Sweden, very flexible team, very well-versed team. Pretty much all the Misfits roster with one or two slight adaptations to it. Now playing as the Overwatch League team, I think they're Miami, if I remember right, because they were Miami Misfits, which makes sense. Well, Florida, basically. Pretty much, except for Snillo, who's a bit too young, if I remember right. Otherwise, and well, I think Chipsani, yeah, as well. But the core team, Tavik, especially. Tavik, primo player, one of my favorite players. Thank you, guys. 44147. Thank you for joining us as well. We're going to take a quick look at the team comps just before we begin, because that's always a good place to start. And you can see instantaneously that there's one or two differences. The big thing that's occurring to me right now, though, is that we have Junkrats on both sides. Current patch, or at least the patch that the World Cup was played on, very strong hero. Very small environments, very narrow pathways on Sanctum as well, so very easy to sort of spam through and get a lot of damage out of those Junkrats. Meanwhile, we do see Manat and Swoosh opting for something different than Agilities and XQC. XQC actually opting for that Arisa, looking for a little bit more pull in his life, trying to nudge people maybe into that pit, and also has the ability to shred tanks, so Swoosh has to be extremely careful here. Like, this is one of the things that I'm sort of looking at the moment and thinking, hey, Swoosh could really die quickly here. He's going to be running into a Soldier 76 as well, Snillo on the Tracer. But he's going to be running into Soldier 76, Roadhog, Arisa, Junkrat. That's a Winston killing team lineup with a goddamn, yeah, with a goddamn Zenyatta mixed in as well. No Lucio as well. Sweden opting instead, not running a Mercy. Sweden not there it is. They're just getting the speed boost out that I was about to say. Fucking hell, what the Christ is this? Did Sweden not learn? Did Sweden not understand what happened to the United Kingdom? Otherwise, you can see the spam beginning. You see Snillo instantly is also going on that flank. You can see him highlighted there with a nice square. This is what Tracers do so enjoy doing. Meanwhile, Canada staying pretty much as a big single unit. You can see the Zenyatta tucked in the back as well. So Snillo going to be relatively uncontested getting on the back of that. If Snillo gets a fast first kill, that could really start blowing things open. But you see Rolf spots him out, starts moving around the corner. It's going to be nice and safe. Sweden having a bit of a tough time moving up here, but does manage to get the pick there as they do blow through the barrier with amazing and impressive time. So they actually just managed to sort of brute force through this, take out the barrier, and it looks like Zebasai just gets a right click through somewhere, manages to get onto poor Mangachu. Where is Mangachu? He's literally right here. Mangachu's right in the middle. He gets killed. How about that? I don't know whether this was like a timing thing, or whether, okay, we're going to smash the barrier, try and get Zenyatta right click through. I imagine it wasn't. I imagine this was just like a happy incidental thing. But it is like a nice side effect of just aiming your shots right to be able to go through and actually find targets. Because I think we're going to see Mangachu sort of bounce up in this way, and he's just going to fly into Rolf's big fat balls. You can see the kill starting to come in, and one of the issues they could face as well is that the Mercy res can actually almost bait Mercy into being in a bad position. They're all sort of clustered, so the Junkrat can do a lot here, but now you're starting to see this tankiness come through. Managing goes for the hook and the pull, doesn't quite work out, unfortunately. Still, I've got Mangachu low and Zeba finishing him off. Yeah, so that's the advantage of the Tracer, but the advantage of the Soldier 76 sort of starts ringing true as well, as they do get forced into this back corner, and the damage output starts becoming overwhelming. Like, this is going to start shredding these tanks pretty quickly now. And that lack of barrier, once Swoosh is gone, that lack of sponge to absorb damage, gonna really cause issues. Do the teams see the uniforms and the color effects? No, they don't. The teams just see very vanilla Overwatch. The spectator client is something completely different. Spectators see something completely different. It's actually pretty cool. It'll drive players insane if they saw the effects like as different. Trust me, the players would not like that. They don't like change. Unless it's Mercy changes, then they love those. Right. So now it's going to be difficult for Sweden. Like, one of the issues with Sanctum is just like pushing back onto this map. The ways in are very narrow. Luckily, they don't have a Tracer sort of nipping at their heels. Canada not opting to run that, instead playing much more static. But Canada are just fine to sort of sit back. And if Sweden try and move on to the point, they're just going to get spammed out by like Soldier, Junkrat, Roadhog. That's not going to go too well for them. So you can see Swoosh engaging there onto the front line. They're also going to need to have Snillo just find some kind of angle in. Mangachu using the bomb, going on a bit of a holiday. 5 seconds, lad. You gotta find something with this. Goes straight in, goes up and under. I think he hooked it. He did hook it. He hooked it. He stunned it with the hook, and it didn't manage to kill him. I think that felt a bit over-fancied. I mean, Tavik's going to have his bomb in a second, but hey, Rolf gets the kill on that. Tavik's just died twice, been rezzed literally twice in one battle, thanks to Chips having Valkyrie already. This is also the advantage of having Junkrats around, is the supports have ultimates all the friggin' time. Canada going to make a push back here using the Transcendence, but not really going to get too much on the back of it. Tavik managed to find XQC there with the bomb, can't find too much else. Joe Mercy's just going to pick him back up. Welcome to the Mercy meta. And Maniton also got to scoop up a kill there. At least Mercy can't pick that one up unless he goes like this, and then he picks someone else up because he has Valkyrie available to him. Canada holds on to the point, and honestly, still maintain a lot of advantages as well. They still have Bongo should they need it as well. Shawfort, yes, Shawfort is indeed teabagging a little bit. And Sweden, like, they use a lot of resources to actually make that push happen as well. So Sweden haven't really put themselves in any advantageous position. And I'd say, if anything, are actually quite far behind. Like, playing into an Orisa Bongo is actually pretty difficult, especially with a Junkrat, a Roadhog, and a Soldier 76 around. That's going to be a lot of damage. Mangutu's also going to have that bomb available. Maniton gets picked off. Snillo has to be super careful about this as well. Does manage to snag the health pack, gets the recall, but is being focused down. Oh no! Oh my god, he recalls onto the trap as well. That's pretty feels bad, man. Mangutu goes for a tricky bomb, gets both supports. That is that. Done. Done. And Sweden are in a lot of trouble now. Snillo needs to just touch the point. Like, the only priority Snillo has is he should touch the point. And it's going to be hard for him even to do that. And you can see that they're setting up for it. They're prepared for it. They know that this is sort of the victory condition. If they can get Snillo, then that's what they're going to have. And there you go. I hate watching Control. It's by far the worst game mode. I love Control. It's my favorite game mode. I like Control. Beautiful venue. Dude, that's the main entrance. I think when I'm watching the finals, I was sat like here. Actually, no, that isn't the main entrance. The main entrance has the big fancy box on top of it with all the hoity-toity people. Oh no, there's the hoity-toity people. This is the main entrance. The hoity-toity Overwatch League people. Elon Musk's kids were in there, from what I've heard. Like, that's who's in there, okay? They're fancy people. Let's skip forward as we have a bit of a preamble. Biggest reason why Sweden struggled there, it's honestly hard to say. I would say that, like, playing Winston into that team lineup, into the Orisa, was just never really going to end well. What? Guys, this can't happen. This is not good. There's already been a fight. We needed to see this. What does the Buzz Arena look like? And how many seasons? I've not seen the Buzz Arena. I think it looks a lot like the LCS studio. If you've seen the League of Legends studio, it looks a lot like that. But, okay. While we have a moment or two, there's literally already been like a shitload of kills. Looks like Canada's already winning this fight because they got 2 kills on tanks. Look, hey, XQC cutting people down with Orisa. Orisa, pretty good against tanks. Who knew? And especially, yeah, if they're playing against a comp as well, one team has Zenyatta, Zenyatta Mercy, playing tanks into that. Always going to be tricky. Basically, Orisa's going to cut through. Like, Canada can basically play rushdown at this point. They can just blow up the tanks without a care in the world. They have the ability to do that. They have high DPS output. They have good anti-tank. So it's no surprise to see them just killing tanks first, I suppose. Okay. Other than that, what can we tell from this fight? Snillo's been having a pretty good time on 56%, but honestly, probably not too much avail. Like, who's he going to try and kill? He can maybe get on Mangutu, but Mangutu can just as easily like double bomb him, kill him pretty quickly. Shawfor's always going to be a risk to fight, so he's going to have to get onto Geomeister or Rolf, and they're going to be relatively protected by the rest of the team. Like, the supports are protected and probably expecting that by now. So going to be tricky for Sweden again. Like, a lot of pressure on Snillo's shoulders, basically. And Snillo, he's a young lad, and bless him, it's very difficult for him, I think, to deal with the amount of pressure on his shoulders. Though Canada could honestly probably just, like, Canada's objective was just to set up somewhere behind the Orisa barrier, fight as a big ball, and just try and get the kills as much as possible. First blood goes on Sweden's side, and they just res agilities, and he just gets back up and starts killing people again. And you can see, like, Swoosh just bounces in, literally has to bounce out again 2 seconds later. That's how much damage output is there. What do you think Orisa with very little changes become usable? Mercy. So Mercy, if you think about Mercy Res and the impact it has, Mercy Res is very good when you have something that comes out of the box with a lot of strength. So Reinhardt is actually pretty good with Mercy Res, but the thing with Orisa is, at the moment, team comps are very much favored to being very static. You don't want to move around too much at the moment. So if you can get in location with Orisa, put a barrier up, and then fight, and then even if Orisa dies, you res her. So if they run forward and kill the Orisa, which usually is a little bit of a sacrifice to do so, and you res the Orisa and she just takes a step back, puts another barrier up, and then keeps on fighting, that's very powerful. Because you're making a sacrifice when you run into the Orisa. You're expecting to trade sort of a little bit of damage to kill the Orisa, and you don't get to kill the Orisa because she just gets rezzed. So that doesn't work quite so well. So this team comp where you have the Junkrat and the Orisa just spamming and spamming and spamming, and the Roadhog as well, you try and run into that, it's not really going to work super well. So this is why Orisa's sort of coming in more and more into the meta. White skins and white background, yeah, it's... I think hopefully Blizzard have heard the feedback that there's a little bit too much white. Like, just too much white there. One thing I do like is the fact that the guns have the names of the teams on. Like, hopefully that will be universal, where if you're playing with the Spectator clan on, you see, and you write in a team name, you see the team's name appear on the gun. That would be really nice, because it just, sometimes it's very easy to lose track of which team is which. Mangachu synergizing well there with the Orisa as well. This is just what you expect out of him. Sweden, again, seem to be dragging this fight out. Like, this fight has been going on. I know we had a replay during it, but I just want to check, like, 20%. Fight's kind of over now, I suppose. It's just taking a breather. Mangachu's waiting out with the bomb. Okay, so yeah, there is a breather. Watching the bottom, I'm watching this, just to see what the engage is like. Mangachu goes in, bomb gets destroyed. Okay, Riptide gets taken out. And Sweden use this as a chance to go in. They know that they're down support ultimates because they lost the fight, and they know that their support ultimates are on 90%. They might actually wanted to just hold on for a second or two there, maybe wait it out and maybe try and get that little bit more extra time just to build up that support ultimate. Fighting into a Junkrat, again, it's relatively easy to get those ready to go, so you're engaging with sound barrier. Rolf commits Transcendence to counter out the sound barrier. Chips doesn't use Valkyrie. Joemeister does use Valkyrie, so there is an opening here for Sweden. Mangachu, again, enjoying a bit of a teabag. Oh, the BM. The BM is real. I thought Canadians were polite. What the fuck? So that's two team fights that we barely had a glance at, because one of them was in a mini box for a while, and the other one started before you could even spectate it. Feels pretty bad, man. A lot of pressure, like I said, on Snillow's shoulders, and you can see, like, this, I love this view. I would love to have this view constantly on, like, a side screen if you're spectating it somewhere. Because, holy shit, like, Snillow's engaging here. Now, the cool thing about this map, the cool thing about Ilios Shrine, is that you have very long sight lines sort of over here. If you're keeping an eye over here, you can see a threat coming. So if Tracer blinks out this way, it's very, very easy to see the Tracer on her way. Like, that you know that she's coming for you. So you can see Rolf and Joemeister are sort of hiding in this corner. It's where they're most protected, right? That's literally all it is. The Tracer can try and get around this way, and has a bit of a blind angle, but she has to get past Surefour, and has to just get through that. And they know that they're coming, the Mercy and the Zenyatta can even back off this way, or they can move towards the tanks. They have a couple of options available to them. Ilios Shrine. Yeah, this is Shrine, sorry. Ilios Shrine. Nepal Shrine. Forgive me. For God's sake, guys. But yeah, they're just trying to hide. They're just trying to sort of, you know, oh please, don't kill me, Tracer. It's making Snillow's life extremely difficult. Snillow has to get something done here. He has to sort of blow this open. Devi can try and come in here with Attack Visor, but he's gonna, like, you can see he's coming up this way. He's gonna have to try and find an angle that XQC just can't put a barrier down and everyone just stands behind it. Like, he's going to have a very hard time doing it. I'm surprised he might even want to try and get around this way for a little bit more mobility, to try and get around a little bit more and sort of counterflank from Snillow. Because at the moment, the way it's looking, because all the threats are coming from the same direction, XQC just needs to sort of block this way and he'll be okay. And his team will be okay. So it's a little bit dicey at the moment. The big advantage they have, of course, is that Chips has that ultimate available to them. Let's see if they can make something happen with it. Otherwise, this is a very fast game one. Very fast game one. I think Canada probably have this. I'd be relatively surprised if they don't. Nilo goes all the way around the houses, trying to get all the way around the side. Mangachu with a very good first blood. Looks like actually they managed to pull it around, so Tavik managing to get his angle and managing to get the kills. So it feels like Snillow just managed to pull them around. Like, Snillow went all the way around the houses, and so they spot Snillow, and they start pulling in this way to deal with it. This is where, like, I want a quick glance. You can see Swoosh jumps in and sort of, so Surefour pushes up this way. This creates sort of a zone of safety here. And it feels like, for no good reason that I can tell, Rolf and Joemeister end up going this way. Which means that Tavik, who's coming up this way, I do believe, has a good angle on them and can get these kills. It means that they are basically vulnerable. Swoosh can even activate Primal Rage and just push them out into the open and get those kills very easily set up for Tavik. Very, very nicely done. And XQC sacrifices, dies. 88% to 0 though, very, very advantageous position. So this is where he went. Oh my god! I fucking love Tavik. I make no fucking secrets. He's one of my favourite players, if not my favourite player to watch. Because of shit like this. So I want to see this replay again, because, like I said, positioning was going to be everything with this visor. And so he just fucking bounces up here, gets to an angle where XQC, who's thinking the threats are going to be coming from the front, somehow appears over here, and then just murders everything because they think they're safe here. They think they're hunting down the Tracer, but they, nope. You've activated my trap card, ladies and fucking gentlemen. We're gonna just kill you with the attack visor. That's amazing! That's amazing! That's so cool! I hope you guys find that as cool as fucking I do, because that's so beautiful. Anyway, Canada trying to push back. Tavik gets the advantage of the tire. Rolf managing to survive on super low hit points as well. Magnitude getting a lot of damage done as well. Now Surefour finding the retaliation. And again, Sweden's issues, they're not quite as tanky. Manaton's actually swapping onto the D.Va as well, but D.Va can't really absorb all of this stuff. And again, without that barrier, without the safety of the barrier, it's just a bit too easy for the Soldier 76 to sort of get some work done, I suppose. This also sort of comes down to positioning for Sweden. Let me see if I can get a good shot of, like, how is Sweden defending? Where are they positioning from? Because when you're positioning... Okay, so when you're playing a team comp like this one, like, this is semi-dive. Like, this is sort of Korean, North American dive comp. So you can see, like, the tanks are set up around here. And basically what you want to be is you want to be out of line of sight until you need to engage. Okay, so when you're playing dive, you want to be hidden away for as long as humanly possible. You don't want to be visible, you don't want to be spotted by the enemy, you want to be tucked away and just, you know, if the Winston and D.Va start taking damage before the fight's even begun, that's bad for the dive, right? So you don't want that. You don't want that at all. But they know the Riptide is coming, so they have to poke their nose out a little bit. Let's go to slow-mo and just, like, really go through this. We have ZP in slow motion. Tavik gets a rocket on it, he's sort of tucked away on the flank. Tavik's somewhere over this way. And it just feels like Sweden just engage a little bit too early. So, like, maybe Agilities gets the hook in and just pulls them out. But honestly, like, these two should not be engaging at the moment. And especially they should not be engaging as directly as this. But it feels like Roadhog's pulled them in. And then Arisa's pulled them in. And even if they wanted to disengage, they couldn't. So Canada definitely making the most out of the team comp they have. And then from there, it's just a simple swing onto the point as the tanks are dead. And even though Chips can bring back these tanks, if necessary... It's still not enough to res 2 when like 4 people are dead, so I don't see this Valkyrie doing too much. We hear ZP talking in slow motion. There we go. And Rolf's even going to confirm it with the Tranquility, because honestly this is the last real fight. Oh, Surefour in a bit of trouble, killing Snilla. Guys, they're still contested. You haven't taken this yet, guys. Guys, please, thank you. Tavik goes down. There we go. There we go. They took the time with that one, Jesus. Hey, Sips. Oh, Sips, man. I love to play some games, but yeah. You see, I do like 3 nights a week of doing novelty shit, so I don't have to play Overwatch. Today we're watching some pro games. Feels good, man. It's good to see you, man, though. Feel free to like poke me or Ryan during the day as well, on Discord or something if you're ever playing. We'll see. Yeah, Sweden, not Sweden, Canada, pretty resolute, pretty strong on that first map. That was pretty convincing. Sweden did not look strong at all. And now we have these long-ass breaks. This is the advantage. This is honestly my favourite way to watch a tournament. Favourite way to watch a tournament is watching it live, in person. That was amazing. Feeling the crowd, feeling the energy, that's great. Second favourite way of watching a tournament is watching the VODs, because you get to skip all the waffle and the adverts and all that bullshit and just get straight to the games. So much better. I understand the need for sponsors and stuff. I get it. Like, I produce these goddamn things, I know, but come on. I love these skins. I'm gonna just say, I love this. This is so cool. having Roadhog with flags on his belly. Do you think Ryan Zarya is more effective against a Orisa Hog? Probably, yeah. I'd say you could probably go with... Actually, even Ryan Zarya would struggle. Like, you've got to engage fast, so it's just Sweden not, like, diving properly, diving poorly, I would say, more than anything. You're going to get proof of the pudding at the moment, because we've got Ryan Zarya at the moment. So, hey, Ryan Zarya against Hog Orisa. So let's test the theory. We'll say King's Row, extremely good map for Reinhardt and Zarya. It's very flat, very narrow, very good for these heroes. I need a slurp of coffee, to be honest. Again, this is sort of, sometimes people ask me, do I need to practice with Zenyatta's right clicks? And this is the reason why you practice with Zenyatta's right clicks, is because of stuff like this. Tavik is dead. That forces out a res. It's 30-second cooldown. They have to pick him back up. Like, that's all off the back of just firing off a right click at the right time. That's just one ability being used, and that's got him a good kill. Manhattan on extremely high charge though. So these Orisa barriers are now going to be melted because they have the Junkrat, they have the Zarya. It looks like they're not going for the high ground. It looks like they might have one person up there judging by where the pull is going, but not quite enough. Tavik manages to find Mangachu. Mangachu just gets rezzed right the hell up. It looks like Tavik's trying to contest through this way. So trying to put a little bit of pressure on, now getting pushed back by the looks of things as the rest of the team now starts pushing forward here. So you can see like Tavik's pulling pressure and making them a little bit nervous, and now it's going to start pushing in. The nice thing for Sweden as well is that they've had no more deaths, so Resurrect should be coming back online about now. So they're going to have that available to them as they push forward here. Tavik gets second kill. This is really good now because that Junkrat spam being on. Junkrat spam is like a pressure. It's like it's like a tidal force just pushing you back and pushing you back. If you've got a barrier up and you're walking into Junkrat spam, it's very difficult to do so. But once that Junkrat's gone, it's just like, oh yeah, now we can just walk forward, and now we're not scared. Now we can really start motoring. And so even though Shield 4's in a good position, they just take the point because no one can contest it. No one can drop down and fight them. So Sweden just take it. Sweden take it with really good time as well. Almost have a Graviton Surge available to them. Have Riptire available to them as well. And it should be pretty strong from this point. Tavik, 0 Riptire kills. Very nicely done by Canada. Hasn't been playing Junkrat yet though. No. Oh, he was playing Junkrat a little bit earlier, so. But yeah. I imagine that's just for this map, judging by the damage done. But the fact that, the way they killed this was also kind of... The way they took this just means that they can pretty much take this first corner for free, so... I like having this viewpoint, by the way. So, basically, you can split King's Row into, like, 3 sections. First fight normally happens here. If not, it will happen here. And then last fight happens here. Okay? So, like, fight 1, like 1.5, and then fight 2. Okay, so Canada are forced into fighting at 1.5. The issue with 1.5 is that if you lose it and the enemy team pushes fast enough, you're basically scrambling to get back to the second point. Like, you need to have some kind of stall. Shield 4 sitting himself up in a reasonably nice position, relatively safe as well, unless Tavik really goes for him. Should have, attack visor almost online as well, so he can get a good flank on that if he's a bit careful. Otherwise, they've got to be a little bit careful as well. Mangachu managing to take this ground away is actually quite nice as well, as if Tavik manages to get over there and start spamming from a separate angle, that's going to be a bit of an issue, but otherwise they're just going to be trying to bomb as much as possible. I do like Fire on this point as well, just because Fire can just go up and over. They're also going to be trying to find some kind of angle. No, otherwise, now they're just starting to advance forward. Grav goes in, Transcendence goes in, Riptire doesn't go in. Going to hold on to it as Agility's actually using Whole Hog, so Tavik's just going to hold on to it. Very, very nice response. They use their own Transcendence, and then Snillo just finds Rolf, kills Rolf. Mangachu manages to scoop up Snillo. That's honestly not the biggest deal in the world. Eyeshadow gets nothing. That's a big loss. I want to see that again. Eyeshadow looks like it should get something there. I think Agilities... Now this is interesting. So this looks like that has gone through the barrier, clearly, right? Agilities is just around the corner, so he's not stunned. XQC is fortified, so he's not stunned. Sure 4, who's just like literally under my logo at the moment, literally right here, doesn't get stunned either. That's probably because he stood behind Orisa, and I don't know if Orisa actually blocks it like that, because that's kind of interesting. Because you can see, like, Shawfor is literally right behind him. Didn't get stunned either. Tuvik does manage to get rid of XQC, but the res just picks him right back up. And like I said, like, once he's back up, cooldown's back up, barrier just comes down. And suddenly, like, the wall has reformed. You know, Orisa's kind of a pain in the ass like that. Killfeed now starting to light up with white. Chips commits Valkyrie. Jomas has already committed his. Sweden still have a slight advantage, but Canada's just killing better, to be honest with you. Rolf is definitely just outperforming Zebasai. And they committed the bongo as well, so the extra damage output, more than enough.
They invested, you know, their grab at the beginning of that, and they invested their Valkyrie there. That was stunning stuff from Rolf. I might get to check it out a little bit later.
We forgot to meme about Mondata's gold. Good. Mondata does not have gold on the Nepal. Not how this works. Mangasu, again, just using the Riptire on cooldown. Remember, ages ago I used to say, hey, one of the best ways to fix Junkrat, or at least make Junkrat viable, is just by buffing his ultimate. Guess what happened? They buffed his ultimate, now he's viable. That's me just gloating, look who's right. Mangachu! Oh, Jesus, no. You see him gets down to about half here. Oh, dear. People pissing around on top of the payload, look at this. There's no reason to really be up there. Is there any advantage to this? Any advantage to this position? Fire Strike connects. Right click connects. Dead. Nilo looking for some kind of angle. Shawfor commits, and they commit the Transcendence to this as well. I'm actually surprised that they do. Zebasai gets trapped as well. Swoosh protects him. Good job there. SUC a little bit out of position. Does get taken down as well. Having a look up on top. Maniton should be able to finish his team fight off if he wants to. Does have graph. He does. Okay, yeah, it does go off. I was just like, where did that go? You can see it's back here. Not the most useful. Feels pretty bad, man. Agility should be able to just clean up here. Sweden have to regroup. Sweden should just regroup. Come on, regroup. Joemeister uses Valkyrie. So there we go. But it's fun. Wee, I'm on the payload. Yeah, and then you're dead. Stay behind the Orisa barrier. For God's sake. Sweden in a relatively strong position, however, but Rolf could play spoiler. Snilla really needs to find Rolf. Really needs to find Rolf, but they're doing a good job of containing him. Like, you notice that they generally have, like, people positioned back here. Mangachu's been doing a good job of, like, controlling this pathway. Is what Snillo's really been trying to use a lot. So Snillo's been having a hard time just getting in. If Snillo can get onto Rolf, shut down Transcendence, then Sweden should have a very easy push going in, because they have Shadow available to them, they have Riptire, and they'll just be able to sort of add DPS, and they have Valkyrie available, so they have like a lot of good options here. The Earthshadow is sort of the big one. They need to find a way to brute force either through XQC's barrier or past it, and then just try and bypass Transcendence. If they get that done, A-okay. Mangachu's probably going to try and get a very early Riptire off, and try and slow down this push, so as you can see, fires a fire in the hole. He wants to use it before the fight so he can build it up during the fight effectively. He goes over the buildings, drops down. Maniton saves Swoosh. So yeah, you can hear Mitch. I assume Maniton managed to save him there. Shawfor gets a good rocket, but Maniton picks back up, activates Valkyrie. Now they're going to use the damage boost on Valkyrie to just push in. So Tuvik managing to get agility down is actually quite nice for them. They use Transcendence, yes they do, and they will just advance forward. Shawfor trying to get an angle, but honestly he's just firing straight at a Reinhardt. So that's A-okay. The Orisa barrier is now too far back as well. Like, this is one of the weaknesses of Orisa. Feels like this is not going to be too useful for them. Swoosh has used his Earthshadow though. When did Swoosh use his Earthshadow? It came down here. So it did actually manage to connect with one or two. Ah, yeah, connected with agilities by the looks of things, and XQC. It just didn't manage to finish XQC off because trans. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, Shawfor not going to get through that. You see Mangachu fired off a pulse bomb at the start of that fight and managed to get one at the end. Snillo finds Rolf. Finally, Snillo has been a bit quiet during this game. So it's good to see him sort of managing that. Payload should just be rolling forward now. Like, part of it is Canada, like, Mangachu just positioning cleverly, and Snillo not, like, going through predictable pathways, but yeah, it's starting to go wrong. Shield4 even opting for the McCree now. That's interesting. I mean, this is more of a, like, a mid-rangey space. There's also a lot of corners that you can get to work with, so Snillo's going to have a really hard time. Like, maybe Canada are isolated, and Team UK kind of figured this out as well. That we know that Snillo has a habit of getting a bit flustered. So part of the plan was initially just to put a lot of pressure on Snillo. Try and make sure that he's as nervous as possible, basically, when playing on the world stage. Manhattan does have Graviton Surge, but Canada are sitting on a fucking treasure trove. There is a small window of opportunity, but honestly, they'll be better off just waiting out, baiting out the trance here, and then going in afterwards. They're just going to go for the grab, however. They have a tiny window of opportunity, manage to capture it. Snillo gets the bomb in at the perfect time. Rolf doesn't realize that his ult's available to him, but honestly, probably didn't even want to use it there, and he's just going to try. Well, they're just going to try again off of the next part. Shield4 just stalling, slowing down the payload while they wait for respawns to come out. Now they can come out with all these ultimates and should be able to just hold it off here. Swoosh, a lot of pressure on Swoosh's back here. If the Earth Shatter is good, they're in a really good position. Tavik also needs to get the perfect Riptire. If you can find some stuff with this Riptire, that'll be huge. And this is actually a good angle for him, but oh god, Shield4 managing to hold on there. Mangachu now going all the way into the backline. It looks like he's hunting down Chips Haryan. Let's go and find him. And that's going to make this push very difficult, and it looks like Canada should be able to normalize from here. XQC even committing the bongo. That's fine. If they can get extra ultimates out of Canada, then that's all the better. But Sweden are sort of going to have to gear up for a big push here. I don't know why Swoosh is doing this. What prompted that push? Like, Snillo is dead. Chips Haryan died very recently. He's still coming back from spawn. And Swoosh is pushing forward. So this is like a 4 versus 6. Gets an Earth Shatter through. Barrier's still up. The only person that could follow him up would be Snillo. Chips activates Valkyrie to get to Snillo. Reses Snillo. And then Shield4 just dead eyes. Canada commit Transcendence, but Canada have been ahead. Canada commit Valkyrie and Transcendence. Oh shit. Oh shit, Canada, no. What did Rolf ult? Rolf? Rolf? It's like a fucking Scooby-Doo noise. Rolf? Rolf? What the fuck? Valkyrie is up. Even if you die here, Rez is there to pick you up. He just uses it. There's still a minute left on the clock. That's a 1 fight if he saved that Transcendence. If Sweden take it next push, that's fucking on you, Rolf. Yeah, Josh is streaming from recording on the stream. Yes. Unfortunately, it will get messy at times. Unfortunately. You're gonna have to bear with it. Right. Again, you see Riptire up and ready. Tavik, if he can get a good opening kill on something, will make all the difference here. They managed to get Fortify out as well. Tavik going to try and take control of this high ground. Going to activate the Riptire maybe once he has a moment or two. Even pushing Mangachu away. Going to follow his team in as well. Use the protection of the team. Start getting around to the back line. He's trying to get onto the supports. Manages to connect to Joe Meister. Sweden in a really strong position now. Pushing hard. As Zebasai activates Transcendence. Now is the time. Sweden, now is the time, and they know it. Riptire comes through, kills Zebasai, who gives a shit, to be honest. Bye. Bye! Having a Transcendence in that fight would have been nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? You saw 3 people get... Yeah, but Joe ulted. Joe Meister ulted, and it was... Like, that was already a poor fight for Sweden anyway, so... It just, that's sort of the thing where I would attribute it to nerves or to jitters, like, more than anything. Like, I think if you showed Rolf that and you go, why did you ult there? He'd go, yeah, I don't know either. Or he'd go, oh, I thought this was going to happen, I was really nervous about this happening. It's just like, trust in your team. You know, have a little bit of faith. Joe Meister had that. He had that well in hand. So yeah, it's one of those things. So, like, even if Canada lost 1 or 2 people in that fight, like even if they couldn't res everyone, they would have respawned by the time that Sweden respawned anyway. So okay, it's a very minor, well, not even a minor thing because it costs them a huge amount. So it's just one of those things of like ultimate discipline is very important. All right, let's skip forward, skip forward, skip forward, skip forward, skip forward, skip forward. So, have a look at these team comps. No, sorry, Sweden now on the defense. This is one thing I say, like this white here is a little bit too similar to the away team white. That would be nice to fix. Anyway, let's take a look at the defense. Again, nothing too different for Sweden. Tavik taking up the mantle of the Junkrat against Snilo, staying on that Tracer. We have the Mercy Zen. And then the Zarya Reinhardt. Otherwise, Canada, again, running the tried and true. Mangachu probably not staying on the Hanzo. He might not. I mean, Shielfall's on the Junkrat, which is interesting. Mangachu probably just doing this for scouting. He could stay on it. Because Shielfall's playing the Junkrat, anything is possible. So yeah, he's staying on it. He's going to be looking for it. Start the lottery. Pull the fucking arm on the slot machine. Let's see what he gets. This is a cause for concern for Sweden, because now they're going to have like very dangerous spam coming at them from multiple directions. The worst thing for Canada, though, is if Canada get locked into like a straight-up barrier versus barrier battle, they could lose this very quickly. And especially if they're not careful about where they put the barrier. Like this is literally, just as like an Orisa note, probably more mentally for myself than anything. I don't like this barrier. And the reason why is literally why Tavik gets a kill. You see Hanzo step into it. This is like a blast board for the Junkrat who's in the hotel. Like, Junkrat just needs to hit it like this bit here. And it's a goal for him to shoot into. So that barrier, like, unless you have the hotel secured, that barrier there is not doing them any favors. It might have been better just circling around the back of the statue and going from like where Hanzo is now. That might work slightly better. Tavik already has a Riptire available to him. Imagine he's going to want to use it. Like, Junkrat ults, you throw him out, because you might as well. They generally get a kill. Mangachu should have a kill here. Yes, he does. There we go. That's not where you want to be as Zarya against the Hanzo. Mangachu gets himself a second kill. Oh, Snilo. Snilo, no. Blinks forward. Respect the Hanzo. That's a shitty dragon. Does cut swoosh off, I suppose, so that does get in that kill. Okay. I was a bit judgmental with that one. No, that's fine. Cuts swoosh off. Say okay. Isolates him. Normally you see them more towards this bit here. Like if you put the dragon through here, what does it force the enemy team forward and force them to come and fight you, basically. Because swoosh is isolated, they can just basically creating a cut across the team, and so they can just go and kill swoosh, and this should be done. I will also say, like, Orisa Hanzo is actually a kind of formidable combo, because if the Orisa pulls, the Hanzo just has to sort of hit the green orb, and that's a lot easier than hitting a target, although with Hanzo, who knows. So yeah. It's interesting to see that they're running the Hanzo without the Zarya, though. Like, a lot of the reasons given to me usually why you see pro teams running Hanzo, especially on King's Row, is for the Graviton Surge combos. He's already got another Dragon Strike as well. Like, it's a powerful ultimate on this phase in the game. Just because the streets are so narrow, it's very hard to get out of the way, so it can get a lot done here. This is good aggression from Canada as well. Like, Sweden have support ultimates. They can stop this anytime they want, but because they're still like they're scrambling just to get space back, it's fine. Canada's taken a play out of UK's book by the looks of things, just pushing towards spawn, going all the way in. Beautiful, beautiful. Agilities. Honestly, I know him more for his Genji than his Roadhog, but clearly, just really playing his art out at this point. Oh, so close. Keep in mind, this is still technically mid-phase 2. So remember when I was like going, oh yeah, this is usually where the first fight happens, this is usually where the second fight happens. The first fight usually doesn't happen here. This is an anomaly, guys. He's even using the whole hog just to stall for more time. Like, they've literally managed to push them. It feels like Canada are defending at the moment. They're defending like reverse King's Row. This is Nega King's Row. Snilo contested the payload so much. That's actually a good point. Has Snilo been busy? We're gonna go back. We're watching all of this. So there's Snillo in the bottom right. He does get killed, so he's dead there. It's not that much, to be honest. I mean, Canada's ranging all the way out here, but it's a little bit of ground. But yeah, he's starting to contest now. Contesting. I mean, this could be a lot worse. Snillo's doing his job. Good. Like, that's nicely spotted. Good job, chap. Good job. Amory 12. You can see it there. Oh, I've got it going quicker. Now that he's dead, super difficult. We're still on that high speed mode. It's just rolling. Now Sweden are starting to get sort of grouped up and get together. They got to, like, they're respecting agility so much, but they kind of have to. And he just uses this whole hog to cover his escape. Doesn't use it offensively, doesn't take any risks with it, just uses it to get out. Really nice. Sort of nice conservative play from, like, a very aggressive position, but nice conservative play. Speaking of nice conservative play, what? This is a little bit silly. Thank you, Missile Mage. Hey, that's 11 months. That's a long goddamn time. So yeah, Hanzo playing drop bear, trying to get up to the back line. Doesn't quite work out. Swoosh gets an Earth Shadow in, but doesn't get Rolf. Rolf can just maintain this. Even Graviton Surge goes in. Pulse Bomb gets 2. Gets Mercy. Okay. This is not the best camera angle to show this. Like, this is why, if you see me spectate a tournament, if a Grav goes in, I instantly try and pull the camera back and up. Because I want to be able to see who's in this Graviton. Hey! Magic Master P. Thank you. 9 months. Another stream, Bab. Beautiful. Like, if they have the Pulse Bomb ready, then the France isn't going to make a difference, and they're just going to clean it up. And especially if they get Mercy inside it. Oh, hello, Mr. Dragon. Mangachu going to swap. Mangachu is going to swap. Mangachu is going to swap. There we go. Under his fire. Mangatu's fire is pretty robust. No, it looks like Mangachu's picking up the Roadhog. And yeah, we see Agility's picking that up. There we go. Not quite making the most of that new feature. Agility's picking up the Genji. Genji's pretty goddamn good. There's like a cadre of sort of these high-level Genjis that I do enjoy watching. And Cruz is one of them, believe it or not. Sweden know that they have advantage. They're just trying to, like, pay Canada back in kind. You went to our spawn, we're going all the way back to yours. Imagine they're going to be backing up now. Like, this is danger. This is danger. There we go. Okay, they've managed to back up. Like... good top-down view of second point King's Row, guys, but we're not fighting. Has anyone really fought in this? Like, literally, the fights have been happening here, and here. There's been no fighting in this area. No fighting at all in this area. That's insane. That's a bit unusual. That's something unusual to remark upon. Yeah, drastic team comp change coming out of Canada now. They were tempted to go for the Pharah, maybe. Maybe it's just Mangachu swapping. No, yeah, they were tempted to go for the Pharah, but decided against it instead, going for the Genji. Trying to think of maybe why that is. Like, this is an unusual team comp. This is unusual. Usually when you see like Genji come out, it's usually a sign that maybe they're going a bit more dive, but this is like, if you take out the Genji, like, pretend the Genji isn't here, okay, this is a very stodgy, sort of slow-moving, but very aggressive team comp. This is like, we get on the payload and we're not moving off it. Then you sort of have the Genji to sort of roam around on the outside, and I guess the Genji's playing the role that Tracer plays quite often. It's just unusual to see the Genji doing it. It does give them the extra threat of the Dragon Blade, but part of why I like Tracer in that role a little bit more than Genji is because Pulse Bomb is so unpredictable that sometimes a Pulse Bomb just comes out of nowhere and will just end the team, while Dragon Blade is a lot more predictable, a lot more manageable. You want to do it mostly with your team as much as possible. If you're for getting a pick on chips there, just... this is done. They commit Bongo. Actually, when did they use the Bongo? Like, I'm having a hard time knowing when Bongo goes down, to be honest. So what prompts the Bongo? Bongo goes down, and then Sure4 just, I think, nails chips. So it's just Canada deciding, yeah, we're just going to break out here. Move forward, use the Bongo, and just get the damage out. Good. Just, it's a good initiation using the Bongo. What you want. It's what you want out of a tank ultimate as well, is initiation. It's just we don't get to see Orisa too often, so it's kind of nice to see her being played at this level. Like, what are the decisions driving these ultimates? How are they making these decisions? And so Canada using the bongo, first blood onto Mercy. That's usually like Mercy's the most important kill in the game at the moment, especially on this patch. So yeah, Tavik just gonna use his bomb, maybe try and contest the point a little bit. Doesn't quite get a kill with it, unfortunately. Snillo also going to try and contest. You see Swoosh having a bit of a tough time. The Orisa's just drilling damage. Oh my god! See what I mean about pulse bombs? see what I mean? They just come out of nowhere. Yeah, that's kind of the effect of a pulse bomb. That does get Valkyrie and does get res, but this is forcing Canada to use a lot of resources, and Sweden, honestly, are managing to hold this. Yeah. That was Snillo. Ah, can we get the replay of it as well? Grav goes in, pulse bomb goes in, okay. Boop, 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 boop. Super cool. This is actually a mix of good play though from Chips and from Manhattan as well. So Snillo gets in at this moment, I think. Yeah, there he is. There's Snillo's corpse. And so like Sweden have one shot here. Like this is actually pretty cool. This is actually really cool. So Manhattan is almost charged and ready to go. If they can get that charge, if they grav, that's still not really going to be enough to do it. Like, the Orisa's very protective, they have deflect in the grav, they might even have transcendence available to them. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to win with grav alone. Tracer's dead back here. Chips uses Valkyrie, dashes through, picks Snillo up. Manhattan gets grav, throws in the grav, and they get the ultimate combo. That, to me, is just good understanding of what's going, like knowing what's going to win you this fight. They know that they have to get the Big Bang combo off. They have to get Grav and Pulse Bomb down, but they had to send Snillo in to touch it to contest. So then Chips knows that he has to use Valkyrie to get in there to res the Tracer, to then get in there, drop the bomb, and take everyone out with the Graviton Surge. Like, so Snillo gets in, gets killed, but then Chips knows what to do and how to do it best to get in there, res the Tracer, and win the fight. If it went wrong, they've just used Valkyrie to get nothing, basically, and they might even have used Grav. Snillo causing problems for agilities, forces out the res nice and early. Again, Sweden playing nice and aggressively, just putting pressure out there, going forward. We see XQC swapping onto the Winston now. This makes more sense to me. Orisa Genji, Orisa Winston, bing. And XQC's Winston is phenomenal anyway, so I like it. I like it. Woosh is the guy to watch in the next fight, I'd say. If he can get a good Earth Shadow down, that will secure it for Sweden at this point. It's a good kill from Tavik. Again, just use Rip Tires, relatively off cooldown. Oh my god, is Harblue back? Is this Harblue? No, this isn't Harblue. Harblue doesn't miss that. Oh my fucking lord. The oops spray. The oops spray almost made me drop my fucking coffee. Oh my god. This should be a dead Zenyatta. Oh dear. And then it's like, oh shit, oh fuck, oh no, oops. That is fucking comedy. Oh my god, yes. How does McCree Orisa compare to Soldier Orisa? I prefer McCree Orisa. If they're trying to push through the Orisa barrier and you have flashbang, it's really difficult to do. That would be my gut instinct. Okay, Snillo managing to kill Shawfor as well. Shawfor needed to be the one to touch it, so again, good understanding of victory conditions here. Snillo, I imagine ranging out on the side here. I think that's him, like... No, Snillo's over there. Okay. It's not even anywhere fancy. I thought Snillo was like a blue dot over this way, but no. No, that's one of Tavik's grenades. So they spot out. Shawfor trying to touch the point. A touch too early. And, yeah. They won't be able to do it. And Sweden take the series, take the map. Very, very nice. Very well done by Sweden. All kind of hinged on that play, that single play with the Tracer Bomb. Like that made a big difference. And also, Rolf fucking up on his Transcendences. I think cost them. Oh, this shot's pretty good. So this is like the Anaheim Convention Center. If you guys haven't been to BlizzCon, by the way, I've been twice now, huh? So basically, like this is the Hilton. H. BlizzCon, like the banners you normally see are like here. So this is where like all the banners are. This is like the fountain out front. The cool part is when you see the queues to get in on the first day, and this whole walkway is literally just packed with people, like all the way back. This was our hotel, I think. No, this is our hotel. This was like the other part of the hotel. This is where we were staying. This is the Marriott. Very nice. Very nice. Blizzard look after us. Built from parts of one of Numbani's short-lived OR-15 defense robots, Orisa is Numbani's newest protector, with much still to learn. Lore facts. What else have we got here? The official name of Genji's katana, the weapon used for his Dragon Blade, ultimate ability, is Ryu Ichimonji. There you go. I don't know what that means. I don't. Ryu means some. I can't remember what Ryu. Not gonna try. What else have we got? Lucio's frog tattoo. This is the fact that we always seem to see. Lucio's frog tattoo is from the giant monkey frog, a bright green amphibian from the Amazon basin that's used in traditional healing ceremonies. Why do you think Canada could not capitalize on the early-looking stomp? Mangachu fucked up on a dive and died, so they lost a lot of pressure there, so Sweden could spring back out. And then just good play from Sweden, just bouncing back. Dragon something. There you go. I imagine Dragon Blade. Yeah, if it's just called the Dragon Blade. Like, Genji, come on, lad. Come on. Lad, please. Then Hanamura. Who knew that Hanamura was going to produce so many exciting games? Dragon Straight Line? There you go. I'm sure it has, like, some meaning to it. You probably need to find a native speaker or someone who really understands Japanese super well to explain what it means. Dragon Line. Dragon the best blade, yeah. Dragon Sharp Sword. But, you know, www.youtube.com, The Hound talking about people who name their swords. You know. Hanamura, right. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the team comps. I mean, if Orisa's going to work anywhere on defense, it's going to work here. Meanwhile, we see Canada. Oh, no, not Canada. These overlays are a little bit backwards. Forgive me. Sweden, opting for Winston on defense. Interesting. So, like, Sweden have been playing these Reinhardt Zarya comps so far, and now they're bringing out the Hog and Winston. So, similar to what they've been running on Control. It's actually quite an interesting decision. Meanwhile, Sweden, again, opting away from the Orisa, just going, this is like dive. You might be wondering, why Zenyatta instead of Lucio? Part of it is, I'd say Hanamura is a relatively short map, like in terms of actual distances. So to sort of reference D again, to go back to D, the D is small. Okay, the D is small here. So the actual distance that you're trying to cover, like, you can get to a blind spot around the corner, around the back here, and then it's just very easy to get onto position, right? Like, when you're diving, you're usually not going much further than, like, this distance, right? Like this D. And this D is relatively small. This isn't a big D. That's a big D. So, yeah. You don't need the speed boost to cover that, basically. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, Tavik. Not Tavik. Why do I think Sweden is Tavik? Oh, let's have a look at this fact. Let me move out the way. I can't do that and be in front of the microphone. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit the microphone. As Zenyatta, Zebasai dealt 9,222 hero damage on King's Row, 3,677 more than Rolf, which is actually pretty good. Zebasai, like, showing up. This is why statistics are so useful. That's a huge difference. That's like 50% more damage. Crazy. You can see you're going to sit up, try and wait out in the blind, get together, and then go for a target. So you pick out a target, instantly dive the shit out of it. And this is the thing, Chips is going to go and res him, and then they're probably just going to turn and kill Chips. Like, Chips is going to have to work to stay alive here. I'm looking at Chip Sargent's health, I'm not even looking at what's on the screen, I'm looking at his health at the moment. He manages to survive it, that's actually huge. Like, that's just well played by Chips. They spot out where the Zen is, Discord Orb on him, right click, connects onto him. Rolf heard that statistic and went, oh, they're praising the enemies Zenyatta, I'll fucking show them. And does so. Yeah. But the thing is, like, Chips gets this res off and survives it, which to me is impressive. Like, he gets down to about half, but then doesn't drop any lower, so manages to slip away. Surviving a Tracer, a Genji, a Winston, and a Diva. And because he does so, this Roadhog now comes into play. Like, the dive goes in, gets a kill, but doesn't translate that into more kills. So that's when the Roadhog starts getting better, the Soldier starts getting better, the more stable team comp. Like, dive needs a lot to happen in a very, very short amount of time, but the more stable team comp that Sweden's running, they don't care. Like, Sweden just sort of held their ground, managing to hold on. Sure4 and Rolf, though, doing a lot of work here, just keeping it alive for their team. Rolf even activating Transcendence. Keep pressure going for his team, forces Chips to use his ultimate, brings back both DPS, kind of evened up the score here. Sure4 playing out of his mind, and managing to secure it for his team. This, I've said it before and I say it again, this is why I love Overwatch. Because on paper, I'd say Sweden was in a very strong position at this point. The dive's gone wrong, they get the res off, Chips is still alive, Mangachu gets demech'd, that's a big disadvantage, kills start coming in, Rolf does end up getting Snillo, which is a bit of a shame. Joe Meister brings up Mangachu, and no one really kills Mangachu, but hey, like, the kill counter's sort of pushing towards Sweden. Sweden are playing from the defense at the moment, and they have the Roadhog that can start really cleaning up some of these tanks, for example. They start taking them out. Manton goes down, and Sure4 just starts out playing. Like, Sure4 just starts finding spaces to get in there, getting a little bit of damage done here and there, finding angles, finding kills, and it's working for them in such a huge fashion. Sure4 also getting a pulse bomb off. I imagine this is what killed Maniton, maybe? Sure4 gets a pulse bomb. Just kills Maniton, so he just builds it off Maniton. Just puts the pulse bomb somewhere. We don't see where it goes, unfortunately. A shame. But Sure4, like, not dying, finding DPS targets, the focus targets coming up together. A little bit sort of seesawing back and forth, but Sure4 just playing that little bit better, just pushes it. Pushes it so that Canada win. Pretty cool. And then Rolf and Sure4 did really well there. So Rolf redeeming himself, but Sure4's Tracer looking on point, which is what we expect out of Sure4, to be honest. Regarded as one of the best DPS around. Not counting Korea. Let's put it that way. We're entering that phase of the esport now where we have to start saying, excluding Korea, or in the West, you know, it's that, or like calling people foreigner DPS. Tavik bringing out the Genji. I do like Tavik's Genji as well, so it's good to see that coming out. It's going to start hounding down and sort of focusing these targets. So basically, Sweden, the overlay is backwards, by the way. Sweden running full DPS dive. Trust me, that's confusing as fuck. The reason why it's confusing as fuck is because when I cast Scrim Central, so here's a little bit of insider knowledge for you. I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to get some delightful recursion. Okay? Oh god, that makes you feel queasy. Makes me feel queasy. But you know, you have the overlay on the top of the thing here. And normally when I'm casting, if I want to double check what team I'm sort of talking about, I'll look at the OBS overlay, and I'll actually use the OBS overlay as a point of reference. So like having these backwards, super easy to get confused with it, because you like read Canada, you just say Canada because you want to talk quickly. So you're just gonna go, oh yeah, with Canada with Tavik, and then your brain just goes, hang on, you've just said something stupid there. And chat goes, lol, you just thought Tavik was Canadian, oh my god, don't you know anything? And it's just like, fuck off. Sure4 actually swapping off onto the Soldier 76 there. So let's see. A lot of ultimates coming online at the moment for Canada. Ah, there we go. They're fixing the overlay now. You can tell it's just disappeared. Canada can either try and brute force this and try to just win now. But because Rolf uses ultimate, honestly, I'd be tempted to just say, eco push it. Like, fight dry for a while, basically. Fight without using ultimates for a little while, and then see how it goes. And develop it from there. XQC does end up, I think, committing his ultimate to this. Yes, he does. That's okay. Like, it's primal race, not a huge deal. You get a couple of kills off that, then fine. Joe Meister uses Valkyrie. Okay, they're starting to commit resources, so they made the go decision. This is what I was kind of afraid of. Chips kills agilities. Usually not what you see happen. They have managed to sort of contain it enough, so it was enough to sort of buy them a little bit of time with this. Now their ultimate's coming online. They're committing a huge amount to this. Tavik coming out now with the Dragon Blade. If Tavik can get a good Dragon Blade, this could make all the difference. And they have no defense against this, so if Tavik draws this and manages to get a couple of good kills, they don't even need it. And Tavik doesn't even use it. That to me is astonishing. That Tavik doesn't Dragon Blade here. Like, they are fighting on the point. They are on the back foot. Like, Canada has position. They use their support ultimates. Tavik knows this coming out of spawn. He's watching at the moment and he's going, okay, they don't have Valkyrie, they don't have Transcendence. And instead they just... Like, this is just a casual dive. This is just a calm dive. That's insane. Because you can see, like, they're outnumbered on the point. But they just trust in each other enough to know that, okay, well, we managed to get onto Rolf, we killed Rolf, and now we just regroup. And now there's just... We found Joe Moster, we killed Joe Moster, and now there's just tanks, we don't need Dragon Blade. That takes a lot of cool. Like, they're surrounded by a big audience, they're playing in a single elimination tournament, and you have a tool that can just win you the fight instantaneously, and you don't use it? That's respectable. That's a respectable amount of calm and trust in the team, and it's going to pay off for them, because Canada... the only way Canada can stop this next Dragon Blade coming up now is using Tac Visor. And there's a good chance Tavik just kills him. So, yeah, like... Sweden put themselves in a position here. They did trade Blade for Trans, good trade. Once they've committed the Valkyrie during that fight, they had to start going all in. Like, they had to use Blade at that point. So then Transcendence gets used, and that's fine. Sweden were okay doing that. They might want to... They probably positioned with it a bit wrong. Zebsai needed to get more ground with it, but it's okay. Pulse Bomb goes in there, Shieldfall goes down, doesn't lose his ultimate. Tavik draws the Dragon Blade now, and it's just going to win this fight off the back of that. Like I said, they saved that Dragon Blade to win the next fight. And they might not have even needed it there, but it's okay to use it there just to make sure that one... Canada are basically stuck. Canada get bogged down, like, this camera angle. Oh boy, oh baby. Snillo gets into a good position, just like... This is just like good bottling in. I want to use the term kettling, but I won't, because... Kettling is a term used to describe what happens with riot police and riots, where basically what they do is the riot police, if they push onto the riot too much, people start getting crushed in. They call it kettling because it's like a build-up of pressure and heat, and people get so pent up that it just explodes out into like, and then people just rage out. Kind of what's happening here, right? They're getting pushed in, but the difference here is that Snillo, this is a pulse bomb. And then Tavik just comes in and just blenders. Going to keep ulting that hallway, though it's dangerous for Cleave. This seems dangerous as fuck. It's it's why the pulse bomb was so critical. You notice the pulse bomb went in first, then he went for the Dragon Blade. The pulse bomb pulls out enough of the DPS, makes them scatter enough, makes them panic, and while they're trying to retreat and panic, that's what matters.
Sweden, you know, still has both of their support ults. But look at Canada now.
In the quarterfinals, Tavik earned Dragon Blade 9 seconds faster and dealt 100 more damage per minute than Agilities. These sort of statistics, I don't like. The Sweden versus UK game was very different to, I think it was Canada versus Australia, if I remember right. Like, very, very different in terms of levels of play and tone. Sweden fucking started stomping the UK. So it's not really fair to compare the two, basically. Like, that's the sort of statistic that you don't compare over a single game. That's the sort of statistic you compare over a career or over a season. That's what you want to look at. Canada have a big, a relatively large opening now. Like, they have a lot of ultimates online, but they need to make sure that they get something out of Sweden first. So I like the fact that they're being restrained at the moment, not committing anything. Transcendence being used aggressively to push them onto the point. Shieldfall managed to use it to survive. Chips has to use Valkyrie. Okay. Snillo getting kills first is pretty huge. Joe Moster starting to bring people back, but honestly this is starting to lean towards Sweden now, because Zebasai could just confirm this fight at any point. The moment Sweden feels scared, they could just use Transcendence. Again, very disciplined out of Sweden. A little bit of a lack of focus out of These facts seem very dumb, to be blunt. It's not necessarily dumb, it's just they're trying out the new tool, they have the new tool and they want to use it. It's just, like, this, guys, statistics like this is why good analysts and good researchers, like this, statistics like this is why a scientist takes 3 years to train, and that's just the start of their training. It's very easy to sort of take statistics and just sort of blindly slam them together and see what happens and go, oh yes, well we conclude from this Tavik is the better Genjins. Not quite, that's not what that evidence really supports. What it could support is a number of different conclusions, which is Tavik just had a better game, like one series is not enough. Tavik had an easier match as well and could get away with more. The tactics being used meant Tavik had a freer reign than Agility's had. It's all these different factors. Anyway, Canada, like, if Canada want to execute this attack correctly, they need to just get on the supports, pressure out a support ultimate, buy the time, and then they can start committing their support ultimate. And they can commit their support ultimates. So, like, it's a timing thing, right? I've talked about this before, but when, like, Team A and Team B, so let's put Sweden in blue. So if Sweden uses support ultimate, they want to activate their second support ultimate, like, here, right? So there's some overlap, and then you have, like, this duration. So if you force that support ultimate out, and then you activate yours here, and Canada do theirs, then they have these periods of time. There's this period of time here, where, like, the fight begins, and the fight's technically begun here. Sweden have a little bit of window opportunity, like, you're fighting here. Okay? Sweden feel pressured, and activate the ultimate. Sweden have a moment at this point, where they're stronger. But Canada can just sort of react to it, take a little moment, and then, you know, just count like 1-2 seconds, then start activating their support ultimates and survive it. And then you have this period here where no one's really going to die, or any death is going to get res, stuff like that. You know, this is sort of a bit of a, not much is happening here. No one's really going to do anything in this period. And then when you come out of this period, Canada know that this ultimate's ending. They can very clearly see this ultimate's ending, prepare for it, and set up for it. And then this period here is way, way more potent than this period back here. And so you can capitalize a huge amount on that. So if they force out Sweden to get something done, that's huge. But what ends up happening, Canada actually initiate, because Joe Meister almost dies there. Like, they're taking a lot of damage here. Mangachu almost dies. Manhattan goes down, Chips reses, and Rolf just ults. Like, the signal for Rolf to ult was Swoosh dying. And that seems a bit anomalous to me. Because now Sweden, all Sweden have to do is stagger their ultimates correctly, and they come out of this with an advantage. It also means that if any deaths happen early, their respawns start coming into effect as well. So it's Canada just jumping the gun a tiny bit here. Are people talking in Japanese in my chat? Guys, I don't know what you're saying. I can't read it. I don't mind a little bit of foreign language here and there, just be careful with it. I don't want people talking in code in my goddamn chat. It's English. God damn it. Right. Sweden in a very good position now. Like, Sweden should be feeling relatively comfortable about the next fight. They have a shitload of resources. Honestly, they should be making decisions like, yeah, we probably don't want to use Dragon Blade in this one. We just want to use Transcendence if we need it, and then we'll just try and win off the back of that. If we need Dragon Blade, we have it. Like, that's sort of the discussions that Sweden should be having, shot calling for. And Snillo just goes, finds kill, Tracer, Agent of Chaos, finds kill, gets kill. They can't even res this, hunting targets down, easy. Sweden doing good. Like, they've been defending this for like 7 minutes, so, well, not 7 minutes, they have about 7 minutes of defense time, so this is big. They're conspiring to overthrow you. Oh, for God's sake, now everyone's just talking in native language, including Moontu's Smag. Yeah, Sure4 gets an exit kill, but honestly, Chips is going to respawn. Sure4 has to be careful here. He's actually ranging quite far forward, and like, Sweden have shown no fear in diving. So, they want to be a little bit careful with that. Again, just running out the time. Interesting and nice use of Primal Rage, I would say. This is something quite cool. SUC gets hooked. Okay, SUC gets hooked. And just activates Primal Rage and just sort of but the use of it to just like bounce the tanks off the high ground is very nice, especially because Surefour, like they really want to get Surefour up here or out here. Davik is just contesting this space. The rest of the team is contesting this space. So if they can clear this space with Surefour to get up and get the attack visor active, that's like a good victory condition for them. Because it means that Chips, for example, is going to have a really hard time using Valkyrie. So you can see them starting to push forward. But Snillo and Tavik, 20 player kill streak. 20 player. 20 friggin' players. Yeah. There's a reason why I like watching Tavik. And I know his name's like technically like Tweak or something like that in Swedish, but everyone says Tavik.
Maybe you see the Primal Rage come out from XQC trying to push some players back. Maybe
XQC swapping onto the Reinhardt. Looks like they're just going to try and muscle on this point. Like 1 minute's left on the clock now, and Sweden didn't have to use anything during that last fight because they've just been playing this very, very nice, well-executed dive. Oh, Tracer. Snillo, like when Snillo is online, he's friggin' performing, and he's on Joemeister already. Like, they can see the clump moving in. He gets the pulse bomb. The stick lands, so Surefour just stops moving. Like, crouches and moves back a tiny bit, but stops moving. Joemeister comes in. Snillo's already on Joemeister. He knows that Joemeister's going to want to go for this res. I think maybe something else just catches him as well. No, it might just be the pulse bomb explosion. Come on. For God's sake. And he gets Joemeister. Mercy's dead. That's big. 1 minute's left on the clock. They have to do something. Rolf uses Transcendence to push in. Surefour has to use Visor. Does manage to start getting onto Sweden. But Sweden just sort of scattered to the four winds. They delta split. And they know that they probably have a good fight coming out of the spawn. They just have to contest this as best they can. If they can get onto this, they're in a good position. Tavik goes off, he recognizes the threat, and Surefour just deletes him pretty much instantaneously. Joemeister activating his ultimate as well, just bringing people back. Chips is ready to go as well. Chips can just bring people up, hide from the Diva Bomb, contest it. Sweden looking good here. Chips, oh my lord, that's the camera angle you friggin' want. I'm watching Surefour's hit points. He gets hit by something. Okay, no, it was Tavik that fights him. I'm sure Tavik is calling that Surefour is low on the high ground, and just Chips just rolls up the sleeves and just goes, "Yep, I've got this fucking staff, and let's put it where the sun don't shine." It's not McCree. Sun doesn't shine. Agilities has Dragon Blade out there and has a damage amp on him, so that's going to be pretty good for them, just keeping this alive. Tavik has brought out the Mei. The longer Tavik can go without having to use that ice block, the better this gets for Sweden. Like, this just gets better and better and better for Sweden, to be honest. And there we go. What a huge moment. The king of the jungle comes up big. These are some of the opening moments. Wolf, such a key player. In fact, both of those flex supports. Ooh, I really want this new camera feature.
At the beginning, for point A was huge for Canada. There towards the end, I love that play by Swoosh. They ground up on the high ensure, with chasing.
But Sweden playing intelligently. This is something we observed about Sweden, is that at the start they tend to be a bit nervous and a bit jittery, but with time they tend to just warm up and improve. So if you're going to beat Sweden, you want to beat them fast. Like, before they can actually get confident and get comfortable. Taking a look at the team comp. Let's have a look. Defensively, Canada, again, not running the Orisa, just instead sticking with the flexible sort of dive comp. Surefour on the Soldier 76 again. Agility is actually on the Tracer, so this is the first time we've seen Agility's on Tracer on this series. Setting up here on the high ground. This is a position that we saw him use against South Korea as well, just sort of when Flower was starting to use Widow more. It's actually quite nice to just like being able to hop over here as Tracer. It means that she can get onto these like high ground areas very efficiently and very easily. She's also relatively safe, can scale out here, she can just blink back this way, so be nice and safe. It's a good little spot. How do you get up here? I think you blink across from up here. You got to use a blink from here to get to up here. Otherwise, Sweden, aggro dive, have the Lucio, so they want the speed boost. This is like, this signals to me that they want to go aggressive. They're probably going to try, very similar to what Canada did to them, basically. Pick a target, dive it, kill it. Agility's dropping in behind them, causing pressure. They're just going to muscle on to the high ground, try and set up for a better position. Like, this is pretty good, because they have the Solid 76 to do it. Just going to drop straight down. Looks like the... Ooh, don't... Feels like the decision to dive is coming out slow here. Very, very slow. Sweden has killed Jomos 9 times. Doesn't surprise me. So this motion here just feels a little bit awkward. Like, they have access to just about anywhere on the map here. The fact that Snillo has to sort of drop down is a bit of a shame. But they can see Jomos are disappearing into the distance. Like, this is not the fight that Swoosh wants. You don't... No. No. Like, that... I don't know what that was. Forces out the res to pick his dumb ass up. Mangachu does manage to get the better of the mech of Maniton. But they're just, like... There's no pressure on the supports. Sure4 is just free to shoot at whoever he pleases. Sweden are sort of stuck in a corner. No. How did you paint on the screen? I have a program called Epic Pen. That's how I do it. It's like Sure4 adapting his position as well. This is like kind of a nice thing. So until like now, Sure4 was over here in this area, and now Sure4 is going to move over here and protect the supports. So they're just sort of they recognize that the enemy team is running a dive. So let's try and play around the supports. Agilities instead is going to be opting on the flank. They can also sort of try and bait them in, pull them in, and then Agilities can swing in from behind and try and get some kind of pulse bomb. If they try and run in through here again, Agilities is just going to follow them and bomb them. Like, they can't afford to do that at this point. Snillo is going to have to try and find an angle. Looks like Agility is actually going to go for a very, very early pulse bomb. Doesn't get it. Less keen on that one. Take it sometimes, why not? But I think they could have afforded to wait and see which direction Sweden go, and then just try and have Agilities like come in from behind them and try and get a pulse bomb that way. Might have been more effective. Good job of Sweden just to get on the point. Like, they're just muscling onto the point. My only concern is that I think Canada... yeah, Canada kind of have a better comp for just fighting straight up. Like, with the Zenyatta rather than the Lucio. The Zenyatta's damage will just make all the difference and sort of shred the tanks. But once Swoosh loses this barrier, Swoosh is going to have to retreat pretty quickly. This is good. This is good, though. So Snillo did, like... Just to reference your old Sega advertisements, Snillo did what Nintendo don't, or what no, because Nintendo did what Agilities don't. I don't know. Very, very patient. This is what you want out of your tracers more often than not. So you have a threat coming in one direction, and then the tracer can come in from another one and sort of gets them an easy stick place. So you want people retreating to a location where the stick is easy. So the supports, man, like everyone just starts falling back, and you see Snillo. Like, I need the one of these things is not like the other. Okay, let's just do it this way. Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Not yet, not yet. One of these things is not like the others. That thing there is something to be fucking scared of. Yeah, like this is that scene in the horror movie, you know, the like such a common trope where, you know, they're brushing their teeth or whatever in the mirror, and then they open up like a bathroom cabinet, and then they can bring it back and there's someone stood behind them. Snillo is the thing stood behind Canada at the moment. Got a big pulse bomb, and he's like, so Sweden start pushing forward, pressuring forward. Canada just start falling back, and Snillo's just there, and it's just like, come to me, my children. Easy pulse bomb. Bunch of kills come up very quickly. Joe Moster can't res all of this. Done. Simple. Simple. Absolutely simple. This is what you want out of your Tracer. A Tracer is at her best when the enemy team is retreating towards her. Okay, always remember that. You always, if you're playing in a dive comp, you're playing as a team, and you're trying to get that dive comp maximized, try and have your Tracer behind the enemy team and try and push the enemy team into the Tracer. Because she will just be there trying to catch them. Super aggro, going right over, even throwing in a Diva Bomb. If they can get Tavik into a good position here, that could make all the difference, however. Joe Meister even, I think, committed a support, committed an ultimate last fight. Rolf did as well. Why is Rolf ulted?
It's a huge win there. I like Canada. Sweden's whole composition allows them to cross that gap outside. So
Rolf gets focused and ults.
behind Canada. They've caught them unawares here. This is beautiful stuff. They're able to close
So one of the things I noticed when watching South Korea's games is the patience of the Zenyatta play in particular. Because what they were very aware of is that there's no need to panic ult anymore. If the enemy team dives you and kills you, Mercy reses you, then you panic ult. You don't just ultimate. Because that creates windows for the enemy team. Still, this is on a knife's edge. Tavik did not get the ultimate that he needed, strictly speaking. Now Sureforce done to sort of spring back. Like, this win is not clean enough. So I want to try and see where Tavik ulted. I don't like the Diva bomb out of Sweden either as well. That was just a bit wasteful. Okay, I think Tavik is on the back, like on the back area back here. Right, he's on the back here, which is okay. Would have been maybe better to get him up here first, but I think they needed to bait the fight onto the point a little bit more first, then activate the visor and try and get more out of it. Maybe just a little bit more patience with the visor. Just a touch. They have the right idea though, like, it almost works. And now, like, when you're playing Hanamura and the fight starts devolving to this chaos, the chances of winning are just... Every single moment that passes, the chances of winning are dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping.
Teammates from the back switch doing a nice job putting some pressure, but it's going to be Rolf and Sherford trying to keep this alive for Canada, and they have done it for the time being. Nice job by Sherford.
Okay. Canada, hold on. Manhattan swaps up into the Roadhog, so they're ditching the Diva. Okay. They're going to try and brute force the way through this, bully the way through this a little bit more. They have sound barrier for safety, so Agility's not going to be able to Dragon Blade aggressively. They should know that they haven't seen a sound barrier in a while as well. Almost get Mangachu with that hook. They should easily be able to take this high ground now, though. Again, I'm surprised at how... Okay, no, that makes sense. Just because we can't hear the Dragon Blade going off. The Dragon Blade goes off, Zevasai reacts by ulting. Fine. Absolutely fine. Trying to hunt down Tavik. Sort of the issue with diving Tavik. Diving Salty 76 in general. Like, even though he can get through... So when you're using Sound Barrier, if Dragon Blade connect enough times, you can still generally kill one person. But Salty 76 usually isn't the guy to go for, because he can sprint, he can create distance, and he can do stuff like that. So sort of creating a big difference there. Joe Meister and Chips high and bringing people back, though. And Agility gets better at Tavik there. That push is done. That push is finished. Joe Meister did have to use Valkyrie to get Agility's back by the looks of things. No, he used it earlier than that. Why does he use it now? Joe Meister just activates it. Just to try and get the damage boost, just to try and get the healing boost? I don't know, he just activates his ultimate. Again, Canada's discipline doesn't seem quite there. Like... He just wants the healing boost and the damage boost, I guess, but... Like, to me, it would make more sense to use it after Agilities had died, so that... Because he died, like, here. So Mercy's not going to be able to get line of sight unless he's on the high ground, which isn't likely. So either you have to send XQC over to, like, bounce you in, or you have to just fly up and then get over there. So using it after that would have seemed more natural.
I beseech you, have a look at the big old white and blue ticks there for Sweden. They have a lot of ultimates to work with. Valkyrie will be there.
Zevasai swapping to the Zen, doesn't surprise me.
Sweden no longer playing for trying to...
If you get Zen set up on the high ground, getting Discord orbs out there, it's going to make a huge difference. It also helps Manhattan pop targets. Tavik staying on the soldier as well. Again, victory condition, get Tavik on the high ground, burn through support ultimates, get the job done. Snillo looking for a cheeky pulse bomb, doesn't manage to find it. I think Mangachu actually ate it. SQC just using in Primal Race just to contain the enemy team a little bit more. Mangachu gets demeched. Has to use bomb instantly just to get the mech back because they really need that. Tech Visor comes out quite early. Tavik gets a kill on XQC. We'll start moving forward, but Agility's scooping up kills on the back. That's it. Chips high in. Once he feels safe, we'll just start bringing him back. Doesn't even use his ultimate yet. Now it starts using it. Sure4 gets Tavik. Tavik gets rezzed back once more. Now they have to be very, very careful. And it looks like Sweden might just be able to do this here. No, it's Sure4 bringing it back. Sure4 getting stuff done, basically. Whew. Whew, ho, ho, ho. Like Sure4 and Mangachu saving it at the moment, basically. But like Zebasai, like just to highlight, ideal positioning for Zenyatta is absolutely where Zebasai is. Bring him back. Like, there's no way you kind of rather be. Maybe a little bit closer to one of the pillars so you have some cover, but just like shooting down from here, such a powerful position. If you manage to get Zebasai up here, Soldier 76 up here, like you have this brilliant crossfire that can get so much work done. It's so difficult to deal with. And Canada just bring it back in pretty resounding fashion. Yes, Sure4 connecting. I imagine Rolf as well. Like Rolf has been landing a lot of damage, so good job, Rolf, basically.
Kind of reminds me of the Junkertown game the other day with Canada. It looks like things are going awful, and then you have Agilities on the Genji, Sure4 and the Tracer just staying alive on the point, staying alive on the point. Sure4 went big.
Yeah, this where statistics would be very useful, so I'd actually be able to know instead of just speculating. Where did Tavik die? That's a good question. Where did Tavik die? I want to see if he dropped down from the high ground. So Agilities is killing Tavik. Rez comes up. Oh yeah, no, I think Agilities just kills him, doesn't he? Yeah, Agilities just kills him. So they both get rezzed. Wait, this is a different fight? Have I gone super far back? This feels like a different fight. This is a different fight. I remember Tavik Visored. Tavik Visor's here, coming out. Again, that just feels like a touch too early for me. Like, Tavik could probably... Tavik does not need Tactical Visor to hit this fucking Winston. You know? Not quite necessary. Also, I don't like the fact that they're all pushing out from, like, the same doorway. It'd be nice to have one or two threats going this way. Agility's gonna start slicing and dicing the background as well, but again, it's okay because as long as he doesn't get chips, Chips can probably pick up the pieces and like stitch everyone back together to say okay. It feels like everyone sort of regroups, and I think Sure4 gets onto Tavik at this point. Yep. Can't quite see where he died, but the looks of things, if I had to guess, Tavik just went off this way. Like, it's... Can't see it. It's kind of frustrating. If I had to guess, Tavik went off this way, and Sure4 came out this way. They had a bit of a meeting, and Sure4 got the better of him. Chips gets a res on him, so he's managed to pick him back up. No, he's by the doorway. Why is it down there? What? How have you ended up over here, Tavik? There he is. There he is. It's a bit weird because like it doesn't show up quite so well. Probably can barely even see it. There he is. How did you end up down there? What the frig? But the last time we saw you, you were piling out of this doorway. There he goes. He piles up there, kills the Winston, and then backs up to go and kill Agilities, maybe? How has he ended up over there? Maybe did SQC knock him there? I don't know. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. It just leaves him vulnerable to Sure4, who can go and just kill him. Basically, the dive of Canada, just go find him and kill him. Like, Sweden's victory condition to me was just get Tavik on high ground, tack visor, win. Winston boot, I'm guessing it's a Winston knockback. Like, it's gotta be. To get over there at that speed, something had to happen. Very strange. Tavik, if you're watching, I would love to know. He does occasionally watch stuff I do, which always blows my mind. He's one of the most responsive members of the community, is Tavik. He's sort of very encouraging to try and help people learn and understand the game. It's very nice. Anyway, just to sort of start off on this push properly, let's take a look What's the situation look like? What's the sitch, as the kids would say. Canada are in kind of a rough spot. They don't really have any defensive cooldowns available to them. Sweden have a very narrow window of opportunity. Snillo again has that pulse bomb. I'm going to be looking to try and get something done off the back of that, but Surefour can also play spoiler as well. Surefour needs to be setting up to find... See, there it is. There it is. To find a way to punish people moving through this doorway. Like this is something that, you know, I try and say in Probing the Many, one of the things we're looking for is stuff that you can take into your own game. So if you're playing Tracer on Hanamura and the enemy team just keep pushing this way, like as Tracer, find places to set up. I imagine he can even just be jumping through here, going through this way. Find ways to set up so that you can actually get pulse bombs as people try and pile in through this doorway. Because people tend to get stuck here. And you can see, like, imagine putting a bomb here. You got Mercy, Zenyatta, Soldier 76 just ahead of you. If you get the bomb in here, it's very easy to just recall back out, and you could get such an easy kill. Such an easy kill, and it will just end the push. Like, it's stuff like that. Look for stuff like that. So, yeah, just always be looking for those opportunities. Agilities draws the Dragon Blade, going aggressive here, but you can see Zebasai's just waiting for it with open and wide arms, all 8 of them just in fun positions. So he'll just keep everyone up and running. They have committed the Transcendence and are getting kills off the back of it as well. You see Surefour just being a constant pain in the arse on the back line. Maniton does manage to get Joe Meister, but doesn't manage to keep the Winston under control, so he's sort of having to ship his way back. But XQC's already done so much work on the back line. That's Primal raising this small environment as well. This push is done. The combined DPS of Mangachu and XQC are actually going to be enough to end this. And like, Agilities can just help clean up if necessary. Maniton, if you can get a DMAC, would be nice. This is actually tricky now. Canada probably want to hunt this down a little bit. So like Surefour and Agilities can try and hunt these kills down. There's still 2 minutes left on the clock. Sweden, calm down, Maniton. There's no need to go over the top here. There you go. There you go, lad. Good man. Okay. So this push against Sweden have the victory condition available to them, and what's kind of nice, like again, if they can put pressure on Rolf. Rolf has been like explosive with these ultimates. If Snillo can find a pathway to get to Rolf, and you can see Rolf is... Oh, this is not what you want your Zenyatta to be. Oh my god, Agility's in a lot of trouble here. Remember what I was saying about pulse bombs? Remember what I was saying about pulse bombs? And piling through the doorway? You literally see Surefour's silhouette, just like da-dum ba-dum boom boom ba-dum ba-dum boom. Look, there he is. Hello, Surefour. He's just gonna go around the outside, the 2 trailer park girls route, get in behind, and find this Chips High-In as everyone piles into this narrow corridor. They've done it several times. Canada anticipate. There he is. Hello, Surefour. And Chips High-In is there. And there, over there, they can't push this anymore.
That's definitely a better trade if you're Canada. They need the chips so badly. They require their mercy.
Snillo's committed his bomb as well. That's bad. That's really bad. So yeah, Surefour doing a good job. Like this is what you want. This is why you have Tracers. This is why Tracer is so powerful. It's because she does this. She ends fights before they begin, and that's what you want. It's such a powerful hero. And so Canada's bought themselves even more breathing room. Joe Meister used his ultimate during... Joe Meister, why have you ulted? Just, oh Canada. Oh Canada.
75 seconds for a Dragon Blade is definitely lower than average, so that's an impressive performance from him.
Joe Meister has ulted. For some reason. I don't know why, but he has. He's done it. So yeah.
And Surefour's been very, very good at penetrating in to the backlines of Sweden and dealing with
this is gonna bug me. I need to find out why. Like, I need a better reason than just he wanted to damage boost his entire team. I need something better than that. Give me something better than that, Joe Meister. Where you're dodging a pulse bomb. Was that what you were doing? Snillo comes in from the back. Snillo's here. Relatively good position. Mangachu's zoning him out, doing a good job on the Diva. Joe Meister ults. So Mangachu's getting exploded. And Joe Meister ults. Mangachu's already been DMAC. Pat, you can't fix that.
penetrate if you're Canada.
You can't.
They need the chips so badly, they require their mercy. And Shawfall's been very, very good at penetrating in to the backlines of Sweden and dealing with those.
And Mitch has just said Shawfall's been very, very good at penetrating into the backline. The things that casters say. He said that full knowledge, knowing that Twitch chat will be fucking posting the diva, like, the moongasm. Yeah, thank you, Molly Bendium. There we go.
Sweden has one last-ditch effort. It's going to be very tough. Hastily taking a breather there.
Okay, and now Agilities can honestly try and do similar to what Shawfall did before. Shawfall could probably just get a bomb in, but yeah, just trying to catch people in. This is what someone was mentioning earlier, like Dragon Blading into here. I don't like this angle. I don't like going in. I don't like going in from the front. I prefer going in from behind. Because you just they see you, they know what you're doing. They've seen you go in. They know exactly what to expect. And now that victory condition is setting itself up. Tavik is now on the high ground, shooting down, and that's exactly where he wants to be. Canada having to commit, like, desperately now having to commit everything. Wouldn't it be nice to have Valkyrie at this fucking point? Wouldn't Valkyrie be a cool ultimate to have now? Just saying. Yeah, Sweden doing what they need to do is contested, but too little too late, and in the last possible second I think they've managed to do it. Off the back of greed and just lack of discipline from Canada. Like, look at this. Look. He knows he's got an angle here, right? Like, Zebasai is trying to zone him out using right clicks. Whatever. You've got deflect, just back away, bait up the right click, bide your time. Don't go for this shit. Zebasai just nails him. Tavik turns around and just kills the shit out of him. He's going greedy, trying to get kills with Dragon Blade. Gets one, but hey, hi, my name's Mercy. Guess what? I don't give a shit. Heroes never die. And hey, Joe Meister, Valkyrie would be pretty cool right now, right? Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? SUC trying to just buy time, but at this point, too many people have died. Sweden have too good position. They have tank killers in Mana and Snillo. It's easy for them to just clean this all up. It's not going to go their way. Sweden take it. Oh, Jesse McCree was based on an old StarCraft illustration by Chris Metzen. Only minor changes between the hero's original concept and his final in-game version were made. There you go. So, McCree actually destined for StarCraft, maybe. Didn't Canada win this game? Yes, they did. Spoiler. How they won it is always more interesting than if they won it. Built from parts of one of Numbani. Okay, we've already had this fact. More facts. We need more facts. Play Overwatch. Bring us more facts. I require more facts. The official name. We've had this one. For God's sake. How do you not have enough facts?
It's a tough time to be a Mercy player, Matt. Ladies and gentlemen, Canada versus
Gibraltar. A map that we don't get to see too often, but is always an interesting one. A lot of sky on this map. A lot of long sight lines as well, so Widowmaker play always available. Always an option. They only had 6 facts. Only 6 facts? There's so many. You have 26 bloody heroes now. You can have more facts. You can have tons of facts. You could pay me, Blizzard. Pay me 100 quid and I'll come up with 26 goddamn... I'll come up with as many facts as there are breaks about Overwatch that are only slightly interesting, but just interesting enough to fill a little bit of time. Need more facts. Jesse was... McCree was StarCraft. Quick facts. Quick facts. Sure for... Oh, please pick the Widow. Sure for... Yes, yes. This is why I like Gibraltar, because we bring out the Widowmakers, and I love watching Widow. I wonder what SCG race Diva plays. She plays random. See, that's a fact. She plays random. You like won 6 GSLs or something playing random. Like that's how much of a superstar she's meant to be. But yeah. Right. Okay. And so, before we even begin, team comps. Canada, is it double DPS? Yes, it is. Double DPS, single tank. You should be playing more aggressive here with Widow. I prefer when playing Widow, I tend to prefer triple DPS. Seems a bit weird, but it's a very strong aggressive comp. I said Tracer's not very good on this map, so makes sense to have the Diva. Yeah, that's okay, actually. The issue with Tracer is, like, first fight tends to happen in this room here. Very often. And so getting Tracer there, it's like she has to go all the way up here, has to go up the boxes, jump over, and then she's like getting into this room. It's the fucking longest route in the world. So she can just like blink over, but you don't want Tracer going in the front. Like you don't want Tracer to be there. That's pointless. That's a bit dumb. So yeah, not good. So I'm fine with the Diva actually, because she's better at just sort of pushing forward. Gonna move forward, take a peek over the bridge. There we go. Taking a look down, gets a shot on Tavik. Doesn't get too much else. Tavik is just going to dodge out the way. And now that they know the Widow's here, they're going to have to respect that. Zebasai. This mono support. This is mono fucking support from Sweden. This is Chips Hyun's work, because this is what Envy were doing for a long time. This always fascinates me. Teams playing mono support, especially because Canada is running dive. Like if they get any shot on Chips Hyun, this could go so badly. Like this is on a knife's edge. Like now they could just lose this point now. If Shield 4 flicked up, if Shield 4 was Flower and flicked up and just nailed Chips Hyun's head, done. They have no more solid healing. They're relying purely on Solid 76 and Road Dogg self heals. Done. Snillo doing a good job. Where did he come from? Did he come across the bridge? Oh my god. Whoop. That's cool. Whoop. Straight on the Widow. Causing pressure. Dead. Super nice. Very, very nicely done. 20% scoped accuracy. Lol. It's the start of the game. He's fired like 5 shots. I hit 1. But yeah. Dragon Blade comes out super quick from Tavik and he's just going to put the pressure out. Like, the issue... Okay, so why is mono support so interesting? Why is mono support so difficult to run as well? Mono support relies on your support's ability to be able to survive. So much. Luckily, you know, Sweden have Chips Hyun, one of the best support players in the world, so he can probably do this. Like, but Chips has to position super carefully, because if he dies, Canada can then just maybe slow down a little bit, just take the time and get the kills. Like, there's, you know, in this instance, usually if Tavik is doing what he's about to do now, you would have a Zenyatta orb, for example. So he's going in, he's going in deep, trying to confirm a kill. He would probably have a Zenyatta orb here, and it'll probably help him survive that little bit longer. Like, lacking that extra healing, especially if you're trying to push ahead, is very, very tricky. And if they lose Chips, or if Chips can't reach the targets they're trying to heal, like, they should just implode now, basically. Unless a huge number of ultimates come out of Sweden, but XQC fills the kill feed on Winston. And gets killed with res. So you can see, like, once that Mercy can't heal targets, Sweden are just made out of paper. Canada could just take them all apart. Yeah, Envy did mono support for a while. Envy were doing it first and doing it for the longest time. I'm not the biggest fan of it when teams are more even. I think that it's a good tactic to use if you have a better team. It works superbly there, but when teams are even, I don't like it at all. Because, okay, like, Sweden managed to push back, they have all this extra DPS, and they force out Valkyrie on both sides, but then Canada can just use Transcendence, and then they should have an easy time of just winning this. They should have an easy time of just winning this, if they can actually confirm some kills, guys. That would be nice. There you go. There you go. Now they're going through. Pure 4 not really blowing anyone's socks off at this point, does manage to kill Manhattan, but maybe expecting a little bit more out of him. By no means a bad Widow. Like, I remember during the Widowmaker heyday, Shield 4's name, it was never really in the ring for, like, being best Widow, to be honest. It was generally regarded as okay, but it wasn't quite on the same level as some of the other ones. Reaver was always the one to fear, who unfortunately has stopped playing Overwatch. But Reaver was definitely sort of the name that everyone respected. Tavik was pretty much up there. Medukusai was relatively high. Too Easy was okay, ran a bit hot and cold. But yeah. I'm fine with his agilities committing this ultimate. Why the fuck not? It's a bit of a shame he doesn't get anything, but he knows that there's no support ultimate to stop him. So if he can translate this into kills, it's fine. The only issue I have with him is he's drawn it at a time when he can't really see targets. Like, he's drawn it and then he's gone and found the Lucio. So it's maybe a touch early. Maybe a bit of a blush or rud to the... A blush or rud to the head. A rush of blood to the head. There we go. Words. We'll get them out eventually. I've been talking all today and yesterday, so got me some slack. Otherwise, yeah, not too surprising that Canada can maintain the momentum. Like, they have advantages going into this because Zebasai has had to swap onto Lucio to just sort of start bringing it back now. Couldn't even get a visor out. Feels bad, man. Or if he did, then it didn't have any impact. Again, Shield 4 not blowing my socks off at this point. I would kind of like to see him change something up at this point. Like, he'll be fine going to Tracer in this point, maybe. You can see the dive is just doing a fantastic job. Snillo doesn't even seem that concerned about Shield 4, to be honest, and Tavik just goes in and scoops him up when ready. But being honest, it feels like Canada are carrying him a little bit at the moment. Maybe the pressure of the Widow, maybe, you know, Sweden are playing so out of line of sight that Widow can't get anything done. It's very difficult to sort of get into the players' heads as much as possible and say, oh yeah, no, the Widow was causing us tons of issues because we had to sort of fight in these very specific instances, but it just feels like it's more the Agilities and Mangachu and XQC show at this point, not the Shield 4 show. So seeing him swap to Tracer, that kind of makes me happy. Even though Widow's pretty good on this part of the map, it still makes me quite happy. Good done a career game? Yeah.
Historically, this is the part of the map where dive defenses can actually have a lot of success, but Sweden's running the Tracer 76 composition. Part of the map where
Snillo finding Rolf. Just finds him, kills him. This might be off the back of Mangachu just playing very aggressively. So Mangachu's Diva's kind of had two modes now, especially with the buff she got recently, where she got the rockets. I say recently, that was a while ago now. It feels recent to me. I'm an old fucker. But basically, with the rockets now, you can play Diva a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more with the dive, and that's how Canada have been using it. So Joe Meister being a little bit left, not Joe Meister, Rolf being a little bit left in the dust, is allowed to die, but Joe Meister, of course, can just pick him back up, commits Valkyrie, just continues this fight. You see Mangachu playing out of his mind here on the Diva, just laying down the damage, confirming kills. What you want out of an aggressive Diva. So playing a good aggro Diva at the moment, and especially with that Valkyrie damage boost, it's pretty powerful. Canada getting chips there was huge. That's going to slow down any chance of retake. They still do have time to retake, but you can see that they're doing a good job just scouting out. Yeah, Zebasai doesn't even have Transcendence available to him at this point as well, so Dragon Blade is going to do wonders. They can't leave spawn. Agility slashes someone's face off. Swoosh, though, gets a good kill. Rez comes in. Mangachu going to try and clear the point off there with the Diva Bomb. And they're just trying their best here, but like, this is not where you want to be at this point. This is still like panic mode, panic. Swoosh doing his best he can, but he's off the point. Ooh, 1.2 meters. There we go. Then we just switched, deals Lucio. Yeah, so like the mono support, I think is fine for Envious. Envious were at a point where they could play the mono support and they were used to it. And maybe it's gone really well in Sweden scrims. Maybe it's done super well in Sweden scrims. But when you're playing against a team that's potentially better than you, I think it's bold. Like, the fact that Canada managed to win that despite Shield 4's Widowmaker not really doing a huge amount says a lot about sort of how well that worked. And being honest, like, Zebasai's clearly been doing work on the there we go. So he does manage to find Chips, although Chips just being completely on his own there. Feels bad, man. Body shot and full up kill. Mangachu confirming kills left, right, and center. Still, yeah, the mono support. Zebasai's been doing a good job on the Zenyatta regardless, so seems a bit odd to me. Yeah, they played it when Diva had him. Yeah, I was aware they played it with Ana more, but you could probably do it with Mercy as well. I don't see a reason why you couldn't do it with Mercy theoretically. Mercy's probably even better because if someone dies, you just bring them straight back up, and that's an instantaneous 500, 600 hit point heal on a tank. So even if your healing does get overwhelmed for a second, you're okay. And you have a better ultimate as well. Like, Valkyrie is better than Nano Boost. Zebasai taking his turn now. Mono support on attack, that one I'm actually more okay with, which sounds weird to say. They gotta be, like, Tavik has to be very careful, so the dive has to be pretty spectacular. But mono support I'm actually more okay with on attack, because the way that dive works is like, you either kill them or you lose. And orbs help with that, but they can probably run without it. And if they get Zebasai into a good position where he can land some shots, it can really work out. We'll see. We'll see. In this match, Agilities has only held his Dragon Blade for an average of 24 seconds before using it. There you go. So he's been Blade happy. Manatees, sorry, I heard Agilities and said Manitin. No. Manatees looking for a hook, not managed to find it. Agility's getting the better of Swoosh. Rez picks him right the hell back up. Zebasai not getting much of anything either. You can tell by his hit point bar that he's been having a bit of a hard time. Surefour probably putting some pressure onto him. I'm not sure. Yeah, Surefour probably putting pressure on him. Manages to get Snillo. Now it's a little bit tricky. Sweden have to sort of slow it down a little bit. Regroup. Healing is going to come slow and one person at a time. They can't pick everyone up nice and quickly here. Mangachu gets hooked. This will be a good opportunity to get rid of the mech. If they can do that, then that opens things up for Widow. Yes, they do. The nice thing about getting the mech gone is that it's very, very difficult for D.Va to get back into it. Even if they res, if you've got a Widow, it's very easy to sort of headshot that one. A lot of space being gained at the moment as well. Like, a lot of space being gained at the moment. Agilities gets picked off by Widow. Boom. Boom. You're done now. And then poor Mangachu goes down. And Canada just give up everything. They just back the hell away. They go all the way back to the spawn. This is not what you want. Widowmaker has now set herself up in a really strong position. They have Infrasight as well, so they can watch people leave, so they can buy the time. 72% scoped accuracy compared to Surefour's 20% at this point. Pretty good. Canada burst out using all of their ultimates and just wreck. And hey, look, Chips, how you use Valkyrie. It's not very effective. Feels pretty bad, man. That was nice. That was actually very nicely done by Canada. Right, they break out. Even with Infrasight up, I'd say that Infrasight maybe needed to come out a split second earlier, just so that Manitin can maybe get more value out of his hooks. But yeah. They come out and they come out swinging, and hey, look, oh look, guys, we have a support ultimate. Oh no. Okay. Oh god, I just saw a Widowmaker in Sweden colours. Doesn't look the best. This is the IKEA Widowmaker. Anyway. Next fight, Canada still feeling pretty good. Like, Tavik can go in with the Dragon Blade all he likes, but Rolf, as long as he doesn't panic, is going to be fine. They can try and focus down these tanks, but with Mercy and Zenyatta healing him, it's going to be okay. They're sort of putting a lot of pressure on these tanks, but without a huge amount of damage fall up, it's not going to really work. Now that's what they needed. Okay, that's forced out. That's not what they needed. Oh, shit. Mangachu with a lucky, semi-lucky boop just isolates Tavik, gets the kill on Tavik. XQC even doing the counter dive gets rid of Tavik. So even though they forced Rolf to use the Transcendence, like that's enough for Canada to win by killing Tavik. That said, Sweden should know now that they have a clear pathway with Dragon Blade for next fight. So once Tavik goes down, they realize we can't res him. Let's just regroup. Next push, Dragon Blade, kill, win. That's what they've got to be relying on at this point. A lot of pressure on Tavik's shoulders, but hey, this is Tavik. This is what he does. So let's see if he can get it working. They need like a headshot or something to land as well, or not even a headshot. There we go. That's what you want. Yeah. So Tavik draws Dragon Blade. Both supports take a slash and a dash probably, and then Swoosh just lands on him. Perfect. Perfect. This should be it. Like, but notice how easy that felt. Like when you just sit back and you look at the ultimates and you just go, okay, well, Rolf used that ultimate there. Okay, we can do it with this fight. Joe Meister going to try and bring them back in using Valkyrie. Curious to see if this works. I don't know enough about Valkyrie. My instincts aren't honed enough on Valkyrie to know if this is actually going to work or not. A lot of damage going onto him though. Swoosh keeping the pressure on, just cancelling out that self-regeneration, and then just enough follow-up to sort of get the kills done. Looks like it is starting to work, but Zebasai starting to land a couple of shots here, just sitting back on the Widowmaker. Not enough pressure on him, so he's just landing hits, getting kills. Like Widowmaker, if she's uncontested, will put out a lot of damage. Looks like someone did contest her for a while. I think Agilities did go into the back. But honestly, Genji versus Widow, it's not as quick as you would kind of like. You see Zebasai dropping low about now. Yeah, so there he is. So Zebasai, something's hitting him. Not Agilities, actually. It might be Surefour, might be a rocket or something hitting him from above. Some pressure goes onto him, but it's still not enough. And like, while you're shooting Widowmaker, Swoosh is just out on the point and pushing it through. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, then. So now we have the typical transition from first phase to second phase, just trying to catch out any stragglers and then take as much ground as possible in the hangar. All very usual stuff. Snillo even getting into a good position right now, just watching out and see if we can spot people coming through. If we can build up a little bit of ultimate as well, see which doorway they're leaving through for a possible minute. Perfect. Yeah, Room for Sight as well, available for this push. That's going to make things a little bit harder. Magnitude gets hooked. Follow-up shot doesn't quite land, but Swoosh gets onto the backline. So this is... remember we had the camera for so long on top of Snillo and Swoosh on the top of the shuttle, so up that way. They've just gone and engaged onto the backline, gone onto Rolf, killed Rolf. Okay, perfectly fine. They can get back out, no problem. Manhattan can also just counter any sort of counter-engage. Looking pretty good right now for Sweden. They've even kept Canada sort of pushed on the back. Snillo, I'm surprised hasn't managed to find an angle for this pulse bomb. Very good by Surefour to survive even that long. Like you can see, look at sign that things are not going well for Surefour at the moment, as he's desperately trying to run and oh god, where's the health back? Oh shit, please, Widow, no, and then dead. Feels bad, man. Have to commit ultimates just to survive this. I think Rolf had to use Transcendence even just to get back in time to be able to contest this, but if Tavik waits it out, draws his Dragon Blade, he can maybe get a lot done. As long as everyone doesn't die to Agilities here. This is where you need like that. Is it always Sully in Philadelphia that sort of does this, where it's, you know, if everyone doesn't die to Agilities and then you have a black screen, everyone died to Agilities. Yeah. Yeah. Still, they know that Rolf used their ultimate. If they can get a little bit of damage on Joe Meister, Zenyatta getting a right-click pick. Rez goes out. Diva Bomb goes into cover. And is that Diva Bomb? Yeah, it was a Diva Bomb. From Mangachu. Mangachu, why have you ulted? What prompted this decision? Getting demacked. Okay. Fair enough. Fine. Fine, as long as you didn't just throw it. That's always what tilts me. Engage comes in though. Did Zebasai actually get... Oh dear. Oh no, yeah, Zebasai was on the Widow, don't ignore me. I was just like, Lucio has no ult, what? Yeah, Zebasai ditching the Widowmaker, going for the Lucio. Fine. Good. Ooh, it's just like, what? What? Chips almost died there as well, good lord. This is tricky now. Mangachu killing Tavik. There goes your victory condition. And that makes it even harder. Joe Meister had to use Valkyrie again. What is with Joe Meister's ultimates? I don't understand this. He just uses it. He's just used it. He's just thrown it out there. What? Maybe he's used it because Chips used it? Although I think Joe Meister used it first. And then Tavik gets picked up, so Tavik starts killing everyone. Doesn't kill everyone with his Dragon Blade. I think he got killed with his Dragon Blade out, actually. So yeah, he pulls it out now, dashes forward, and straight into a bomb. Feels bad, man. Yeah, Joe Meister's ults, not convincing me at the moment. Joe Meister now starting to pick people up, but enough people are sort of dying that it's starting to become a bit of a problem. That said, they have reinforced distance advantage, so this could go in their favour. Decent dispulse bomb, but not quite good enough. And now Rolf has his ultimate up, and this should be an end to this fight. It's bought them enough time, but again, that ultimate just felt very strange out of Joe Meister. It just felt a little bit too early.
So they were trying to lead the way, Sweden,
Canada in a good position now. Like, Dragon Blade just has to work, and nothing's gonna stop him. So yeah, Agilities has a clean path now to actually just win this fight. Snillo kills Agilities, and suddenly this is blown wide open. If you look in the bottom right, you can sort of vaguely make out, hey, this is Tracer killing Agilities. Remember what I was saying? Canada have an easy time now. Agilities just needs to Dragon Blade and kill everyone. Well, Agilities is dead, and now Rolf is dead, and Mercy has also died in the vain attempt, I think, to try and res Rolf. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Sweden executing on the dive, or basically executing on the counter dive. I think Agility's getting a bit ahead of itself. Does draw Dragon Blade, comes back, kills Chips Hyan. He's got to get a lot out of this one, and I don't think he's going to do it by just trying to run it on Winston. Does get the Mercy, but still probably too little too late at the moment as Maniton's killing absolutely fucking everyone, combined with Swoosh using that Primal Rage, Sound Barrier even confirming it, and there we go. When you have an ultimate that the enemy team cannot counter, be very, very careful about throwing your life away and taking a risky engage. I think that's the lesson there. Maybe. I think that's a good lesson. Yeah. No, I think that falls down to shot calling more than anything. Like, Canada just needed to be very clear of, like, Zepasai swapped fairly recently, probably doesn't have ultimate. They don't have Mercy ult either, we know this. Okay, Agilities, we need your Dragon Blade, and we'll use that to win next fight. That's sort of the plan you sort of lay out. So yeah, XQC playing Winston at a level that is pretty much inspirational. I know Ryan loves watching some XQC. I think he's had a very strong performance in this tournament as well. It's been good to see. Maniton gets res, he's just going to look for a quick pick. Got to be a bit careful that he doesn't become the quick pick. Oh, almost gets the hook. Nilo also being good about sort of getting into position nice and early, but has to be careful. I think Shawfall's starting to hunt him down. Agilities draws the Dragon Blade, goes into the backline, dives Zebasai, who still seems to be struggling to get these ults going. Chips has to ult. Chips has to ult. Chips has to... Chips has ulted and done nothing with it, just let everyone die. Okay. They just gave up on that fight. That's not good. There's no time left, guys. You don't have time for this. You don't. Mono support not paying dividends there, I think. I read somewhere that the reason why USA gave so much work to South Korea was because USA had a Mercy specialist while Toby and Ryu Jae-hong were filling for her. It's an interesting theory. Not 100% sure in it. I love this new feature. Look how cool this looks. I love the fact that you get to pan around during all of this as well. Like, this looks friggin' cool. You can even see, like, the Widowmaker traces. You can just see Shawfall getting into a good position. Coming out, visor. This is Canada bursting out. Really cool. And yeah, like, saying, like, oh, well, they have a Mercy specialist, is the gulf between... Like, Adam is a really good Mercy. Do not get me wrong. Adam is sort of, you know, the benchmark that you are aiming for. After finishing her MD and PhD education, Mercy continued her research and served as head of surgery in a prominent hospital in Switzerland. Interesting that she completes a PhD and then becomes head of head of surgery in a prominent hospital. Like, that's a jump. Like, medicine is a little bit political in terms of getting positions like head of surgery. Yeah, like, saying that there's a huge gulf between the two, I don't know. I think the USA, like, and I think just crediting it to something like that is tricky. I'd say that the USA just played at a really high level. Like, USA very clearly wanted it. I think South Korea, being brutally honest, A, weren't playing the best team that South Korea could possibly play, and B, well, there we go. And B, weren't taking it super seriously at first. I think on the first map they didn't play Mercy, if I remember correctly, and so that's kind of, like, that's a sign that, okay, they clearly didn't watch the UK get smashed. Right. Sombra started out as a hero called Omniblade. She was originally envisioned as a Japanese woman with a love of street fashion and throwing daggers. There you go. We have facts. At least these aren't the same ones. What's this next one? Anna Amari's call sign was Horus, when she served in the Egyptian military during the Omnic crisis as a prostitute. Hence, Horus. No, it's just Horus. There you go. Okay, 2-2. Oasis, everyone's favourite map. Oh boy. Maventium with the perfect goddamn emote. Yeah. Just 10 out of 10 emote. Beautiful. Okay. Let's take a look. So here we are. Agility's dealt 2,911 Dragonblade damage and 128 damage per minute, almost point your bolter. Just a fun fact, apparently. Isn't that fact fun? So again, Sweden using the Lucio boost, I think, to get out the door and then swapping to Mercy. And then I'm sure someone will like attach for Mercy to jump to. Let's have a look. Pure dive coming out from Canada, like Genji Tracer, Diva, standard as standard could be. Don't they know what the meta is these days? Yes, they do, because they've got a Mercy Kappa. Sweden, relatively stodgy actually. Sweden looking probably just to take the high ground, set up on there, and then kill what they can, drop down, and clean up on the point. Sweden definitely sort of looking to counter dive, basically. They're looking to try and catch the enemy team as much as possible. Looks like they're going to have a meeting in the middle, not instead opting for the high ground, instead just trying to take control of that space. But if Madison can land a good hook, that'll make all the difference. Madison does not land a good hook, instead turns around and gets absolutely smashed. And now Canada are going to start trying to pick their target. As long as Canada don't get caught out, they should be in a pretty strong position at the moment. Madison does land the hook there, but doesn't have any follow-up, so no one going to kill. Magnitude is no problem there. Here comes the dive. You can see those rockets from Diva putting the work in, but doesn't actually get the kill. Despite, like, Zebasai drops super low there as well, but like, where is Shawfall? Where is Agilities? Like, look at him. Look at him. Look at him. He's on like, look at this. This is a dash. Genji, where art thou? Genji busy dying somewhere else. Apparently, just I think trying to dive on Sweden's back, on Canada's backline. No, on Sweden. Yeah. No, he's not. Sorry, Genji's just fighting somewhere else. Yeah, he's not trying to dive anyone's backline. Maybe trying to help keep his own alive? I don't know. That swoosh ends up going down. Chips gets the first res off. Surprise, surprise. Oh, look, HCC's gone down. I wonder what's going to happen. Oh, look, he's been rezzed. No shock there. Mangachu, very fast bomb. Like, that's a testament to just how much damage he's been doing on that hero. And this should start swinging now. Davik could turn this at any moment. Like this could actually still turn. It's a bit on a knife edge. But Sweden have support ultimates as well. But Canada have taken the point. Sweden just let it go at this point, I'd say. Sweden, let it go. Let it go. No, what are you doing, Sweden? Stop this. Stop this insanity. Stop this madness. The enemy team's just going to reinforce. Good work from Tavik to get that kill there without having to use Deadeye to do it. That's very, very nice. But, yeah, like, Canada won the fight. They have advantage, they have ultimate advantage. Extending this fight is not the play. Not the play. Again, just shot calling. Shot calling. You got pushed back by McCree? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Like, Sweden could have been sunning this push 20% ago with 2 support ultimates available to them. That would have been very nice. Rolf, good entry kill. That's what you want. Adi and Yadas. And now that Madison's dead, like, they're in a lot of trouble. Chips activates his ultimate by the looks of things. Does manage to pick up Madison, almost dies to do so. Shawfall gets the better of Snillo, and this is all starting to go wrong. All starting to go wrong for Sweden at this point. Madison gets himself a juicy couple of kills, but honestly, this might still be too little too late, to be honest. And because this is Oasis, like, if you don't kill quick and clean, they're gonna stall it and stall it and stall it and stall it. Like, this map, City Center, you've got to win decisively. You've got to win decisively. If you don't, the enemy team stalls it, reinforces, and you're back to square one. And all that time, the percentage has been ticking up. Now Sweden are in the desperate position where they just have to touch. Tavik, if he can get into a good place, can maybe just ult this and do a lot with it. Agilities has another Dragon Blade. You can try and get a lot done with this one. As long as Zebasai doesn't die for, like, a stupid reason, then they're okay. They're just going to use it to push in. It's okay. Tavik activates Visor. Just trying to get on the point, but he's doing it from the low ground. He's doing it from, like, that balcony area there. Dragon Blade comes out very early. No! Agilities. Again, just a tiny bit more patience. I don't know why he went in that early. I don't know why he drew his Dragon Blade that early. Like, there's no need to dash here. You could just jump over here, set up on here. You can see, you know that you have the advantage here. You know that Zephyr's used his ultimate. Nothing's gonna fucking stop you at this point. Then he dashes, draws his Dragon Blade. Attack Visor's still up. Attack Visor's still running. Runs in, takes a couple of shots, bounces off. Like, at this point, you have to deflect, no matter what. And instead, he just goes for the kills. Of course you're gonna die. And then this is a window for Sweden to actually come back in. It's still a small margin because they're sort of getting pinned in, but it's definitely not a done deal at this point, and they could have had such a more certain fight than this one. It looks like they will just be able to hold on to this, but... Ugh. 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 Again, big mistake during that round, I think. Sweden just tried to take the first fight for too long, started committing resources to it when they could just let it go, and just sort of bounce back. Enemy team had already committed resources, so you might as well just hold on to yours and then win the next fight. After that, basically just not winning fights decisively enough, taking a couple of early picks unnecessarily, like the Zenyatta shouldn't really be getting that many kills. So yeah, very common to see Pharmacy coming out of this map, so no surprise to see Pharmacy coming out from both sides. Tavik versus Mangachu. I'd honestly probably give that to Mangachu in terms of who's the better Pharah. I've just seen more of Mangachu's Pharah in general than Tavik's. Chip's taking a lot of damage very early, while Mangachu being more the target for Tavik. Whoever wins this battle in the sky, it's going to make a huge difference on the ground. Again, one rocket lands for Mangachu, but after that it misses the second one, so starts going for targets on the ground. Tavik goes a little bit earlier for targets on the ground, gets rid of Geomeister. 2 kills nice and early for Sweden, does give them a nice advantage, as well they have res advantage, but now kills starting to sort of swing on through. You're expecting Manhattan to actually scoop up a lot on the ground here, and Tavik does get the better of Mangachu as well, so now this should be an easy ground win for Sweden, as they do have the fire just in the sky raining death from above, so it's sort of forcing Canada onto the back foot as they try and duke around. Surefall going to be big for getting Canada back into the game, as he's going to try and find a pulse bomb onto the back line. He's been very good at doing it so far, so if he manages to get that off, that's sort of what they'll be looking for to open up. Agility's also done a very good job of building up a huge amount of ultimate charge, so should be looking to get a lot done with that. If Mangachu can win this duel in the sky, of course it will be very, very important, but Tavik gets the better of him. And Rolf is going to have to, like, even trying to res that is just very, very risky. Like, the corpse, so the thing with trying to res Pharahs, you see when Mangachu's fighting, like, this corpse isn't going to stay in the air. It's going to drop down. It's going to drop down literally right in front of Sweden. So you can see he goes down, 44 hit points, and just goes, no, fuck it, I'm out. I can't res that. And especially as a couple of people die on the ground afterwards then, it's just like, yeah, we can't take this fight. So the advantage that Agility's built up in the first fight by doing such a good job, by doing so much damage, has now kind of been nullified as well. Surefall really... Yes, so that Canada realizing that they're actually losing the air battle, so Tavik getting the better of it here, instead of opting for a ground-based sort of fighting team, bringing out the Soldier 76, bringing out the Diva to try and contain rather than fight directly. Let's see how this one goes, although I imagine Sweden should just be able to win this fight just by virtue of having enough ultimates. Agilities goes out, takes a couple of swings, but is having a hard time finding a good target, and Swoosh even doing a good job just containing him, just by bouncing him around, so making his life difficult there. Tavik still has Barrage as well. What they can try and do is bait in the Mercy. One of my favourite things to see Pharahs do these days is you kill someone, Mercy tries to go and res it, and you just barrage the corpse, basically, and you end up killing the Mercy, but I think it kind of happens here, so SQC goes down. Barrage goes on to Surefall, Rolf comes over to res SQC, and then Rolf dies to Barrage. So, it's sort of like the baiting of the Mercy. Are people going back to the one tricks? Oh, lovely. I'll talk about that again afterwards, but again, don't overthink it, guys. Sweden looking strong at the moment. Canada have to do a good job of just storing up their ultimates and getting a lot done with this next fight. They have 2 support ultimates compared to the enemy team 0. They're going to have Tactical Visor. This is Canada's moment. Sweden needs to get something proactive done. Like, this is another instance where Snillo just has to find a pick. Agility is getting super low, but they use Sound Barrier to engage, so that's going to keep them alive. Mangachu with a bit of an interesting ultimate. Why? Don't like it. Don't like it at all. In a position that it's very easy to avoid. Diva Bomb's very good for killing pharmacies in general, and lobbing these is very, very important. I don't like that ultimate at all. I don't understand why, basically. Like, he does launch it up, but Tavik just gets out of the way, so... Surely you could have got a bit more value. Like... Rez comes out, Tavik tries to kill him, but doesn't quite manage to do so. Instead gets a kill on Joemeister, Jesus. Tavik's playing out of his mind. On 10 hit points, going to back up, pick up the health pack. Nice, they got it to 99%. Sweden, honestly, could, if they wanted, just stop using ultimates. I don't like the Primal Rage here from Swoosh. Like... Someone, one of the dead people, one of the people that died, just need to sort of call out at this point. When it starts hitting 98, like 97, 98, you just say, stop using ults, stop using ults. Because there's no need to stall anymore, right? You're not gaining anything by having Swoosh jump around the point at this point, except for giving Canada more ultimate charge. There's no value gained here, so they want to be careful.
Large mountain to climb, though. They find themselves down 99-0. Now they get control of the point. You had to use all your ultimates in that previous fight to
so
win.
Then,
Sweden, you'll be close to a Valkyrie. You have
let's have a look.
You have a pulse bomb. You're good.
Let's see how Sweden are going to address this one. Sweden actually should be sprinting back with slight advantage here. Yeah, they have the ultimates sort of coming online a little bit quicker. Joemeister will have that sound barrier available to him a little bit quicker, but honestly, Sweden do have like a really good position here. Interesting choice of focusing XQC instead of focusing on the Lucio. Oh no, that's Zebasai, sorry. Again, the colors. Like, the blue and the white are actually similar enough that it confuses me occasionally. SUC gets cornered though, gets killed, and it's actually going to be hard for Mercy to res that immediately. Like, they're going to have to be very careful with it. Bomb goes out, Mangachu just dies instantaneously. Rolf now has to try and pick the most valuable res possible, or the only one that he can really reach, but dies in the process. Mangachu gets demaxed, Sweden should win this round. And now this is close. Assuming this fight goes Sweden's way, there's no reason why it shouldn't. Hello, XQC. Oh, bless him. Bless him. Overtime. I'm going to be shocked. There we go. Oh, anything could happen. Right. Right. It's 2-2. And it's 1-1. It all comes down to this. Everything we've seen so far comes down to this one. Comes down to this single map. University on... I'm blanking because I'm tired. Oasis. Why did I blank on Oasis? I keep wanting to say Ilios, and I don't know why. As far as 20% of Tavik's rockets fired on the gardens were direct hits. That's pretty good. Depends if that includes barriers or not. Imagine 20% it probably doesn't include barriers. Although there weren't that many to shoot at, so... Who knows? Interesting to see that Sweden running with the Lucio and Junkrat, but not opting to take the high ground, so they're just going to sort of concede that one. Instead of opting to take sort of the low ground area, who's just going to poke his nose up and try and do a little bit of damage, but not trying to do too much. That said, Zebasai gets isolated, killed off, does get res, but that's a nice and early res, and Still has already gone down as well. So Canada, instantaneous advantage here, and getting the better of them with the Farah. This is just like a mismatch of comps. Like, Canada's comp just beats what Sweden are trying to do here. Sweden don't have a counter to the pharmacy either with this lineup, and what you saw is Tavik like run into here. So if the enemy team try and contest the Junkrat in this space, very, very difficult to do, right? It's a tiny little area, tons and tons of bouncing grenades around. Why stall to 99? Isn't 97 or 98 better because overtime doesn't trigger? It's safer to stall to 99%, and even if overtime triggers, if you've been contesting for long enough, it will just drop pretty much instantaneously as well. Honestly, it doesn't make a huge difference. You just want to stall towards the end. You want to just basically give the enemy team as little chance as possible. Or maybe there'll be some instances where 97 or 98 are better, but you don't have the brain time to focus on that kind of stuff at this point. The game isn't that developed. But agilities can honestly just stay like high in the sky here. That gives Joemeister safety, and you can just keep raining rockets down from above, and should just be able to start cleaning up here. If Joemeister's ever worried, you can see he's just drifting up to the sky here. Manitin can't do anything about it. Tavik can't do anything about it. Snilla can't do anything about it. Zebasai is the only person here that can shut down this pharmacy, and that's just going to cause so many issues. So wouldn't be shocked to see Sweden maybe changing one or two things. Tavik might want to try and get this Riptire out, might not. Gonna be interesting to see. Nope, swaps it. There we go. So he swaps it to the McCree. Alright then. Want to note as well that this is Agility's on the far, it's not Mangachu. Mangachu instead playing the Diva, so Agility showing off a nice depth of comp here. Tavik in a bit of a duel with Surefour. Surefour trying to bait out the flashbang. Tavik not really falling for it, he's just biding his time. Meanwhile, though, Swoosh just eating a ton of damage, does manage to sort of get picked up once again. Does manage to get Agility's barrage out. Barrage not getting too much of anything. Again, I prefer to see the barrage come out after the corpse is done, so then you could just try and blow out the Mercy, but regardless, Canada leveraging their advantages, even committing the Valkyrie to this one. And it's enough to sort of get the job done. Surefour having a bit of a waggle with the Overwatch symbol. There we go.
You'll have a Transcendence for Sweden. You're going to have your own Valkyrie, you're going to have a grab, you're going to have a pulse bomb.
Okay.
So they can land that big bang combo. You get Manitin to drop a big fat grab, you get Snow to get from behind, land a pulse bomb.
Okay, and let's see. Surefour. Oh! It's all kind of gone wrong. You literally see him. I think you literally see the guns disappear for Tracer to bring a hand out and throw the bomb. I don't know if that's just a flashbang connecting, actually. It might just be the flash connecting and the bomb doesn't even start its cast animation, because I think you can interrupt pulse bomb, it's just very difficult. But yeah, and then gets Joe Meister as well with a quick Deadeye. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, it's a flashbang, yeah. I think otherwise pulse bomb would be interrupted. But the Tavik show begins. This is why this lad is scary. And okay, Sweden bring it back, but it's 80% to 0. Again, this is the sort of territory where Canada need one fight. Sweden can probably stall it a little bit, but it's going to be desperate no matter what. Canada can take their time with this. They ditch the Pharah as they're going for the Genji, going for the domination that the Dragon Blade can bring them rather than trying to rely on barrage. And Tavik's been shooting pretty well, so best not to tempt that. Still shooting pretty well, apparently, as he lands a shot onto that Genji, and it's just swept up by Manitin. Agilities deleted. Now is the time for Tavik to hit prime form. Like, now's a good friggin' moment for it. They do commit the Transcendence to it and the Valkyrie, though, so that's both support ultimates down, and Canada should know that they have both of theirs coming online relatively soon. Manitin still does have Graviton Surge, but as long as Rolf can build up his... ultimate, they should be okay. That said, like, they're not going to be able to stop a Deadeye. Like, they have nothing to prevent the Deadeye just killing everyone, so... Sweden in it with a chance. Close. Very close. Very, very close. There goes the grab. Risky grab, because Mangachu's still alive. You see Rolf and Joe Meister both activating their ultimate. Tavik has brought out the Deadeye, though. Like, Joe Meister has to be careful. Surefour goes down. I think Mangachu gets demacked. Honestly, I'm legitimately surprised that more people did not die to this Deadeye. Just Surefour. Actually curious to see. I think Mangachu didn't actually eat it, but... Okay, so Joe Meister went to safety around behind here. So he's safe. He's okay. So Nyada's not going to die. That's fine. You see, these are the bullets. These are the Deadeye shots. And the Deadeye begins and it shoots across, right? It shoots right to left. So what I want to highlight is you can see the bullets coming through as the deaths start coming out. If I just go forward, here we go. First shot comes in. Connects with Surefour. And then the next bullets go in. DMX Mangachu. Next shot comes in, hits XQC, doesn't quite kill XQC because of the just doesn't quite do enough damage, maybe. I was just curious to see if the shots went into Diva's corpse and that blocked it, but I was honestly expecting a little bit more out of that. It managed to get the DMAC as well, so at least got 2 with that, but that might not actually be enough to win this out. And now, because Joe Meister managed to survive, everyone's starting to come back. Killfeed's filling up with white. Now it's a little bit dicey. 80% to 80%, but Canada have advantage on the point, and honestly, Sweden have lost a lot of momentum. Manitin not quite so strong at the moment. Is now getting focused down. It's very low. Has to be careful. Dies to Surefour. There we go. And now Surefour should just be cleaning up. Point does tick over. 20% left in it. Sweden have 1 shot. and it's all on Snillo, I'd say at this point. Madison swaps onto D.Va, correct thing to do. There's no time to build up Zarya charge, so swap to something that gives you instantaneous power, which is D.Va. Snillo needs to get one hell of a bomb. Sureforce just waiting for him, just trying to sort of catch him. Nope, he's just going to go on to Zebasai. Beautiful damage onto Zebasai, just needs a tiny bit more. That's absolutely enormous. Chips is forced to res. Bomb goes in, almost gets one, does get Zebasai, almost got the Mercy. He does put the Mercy low, and that should be enough for them to get this win out. Joe Mercy can now just swing all around. Advantage purely going to Canada. There we go. So Sureforce getting the necessary pick, slowing down the Swedish attack. Tanks can just stall out a little bit, let Sureforce and Agilities work, and that is that. And Canada take it in a very, very close series. Very, very, very close series. Okay. Beautifully played by Sweden. Like some really good moments, and some good moments out of Canada as well. Some disappointing moments out of Canada as well. Just occasional slips in discipline is what I would say. But still very, very well played. I would like to see them hold on to their ultimates like a second or two longer here and there, just to have a little bit better execution on those plans. Because they could definitely get punished for that kind of stuff. Okay, that is the end of Probing the Many. Thank you guys for joining me and watching all the way to the end of that. That was a long session, but hey. Okay then. If you do want to watch more of these, of course, I happen every Sunday on the stream, ESL_OneAmongstMany, and I will look forward to seeing you there, 10 o'clock GMT on Sundays. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say for this one, so thank you for watching all the way to the end. I'm going to just ramble on with my Twitch viewers for a while afterwards, maybe play an FFA or two, but that's about it. So yeah, I'll see you soon. Toodles. End of the YouTube VOD. There we go. Right, hello.